Where Facebook ads is going, it is becoming more and more AI driven. What do I mean by that? Their advertising algorithm is actually changing. I have some friends working at Facebook in their machine learning and engineering departments, how the code is written. Now it is going to into a more and more AI driven advertising strategy. So what they want to do initially is take out the advertising agencies, and they want to get regular ever Joes who have businesses to run ads. They want to make everything as simple as possible for people to run ads without being technical, right? So that's their goal. That's they want everybody to being able to run ads as easily as possible. So Facebook is a business, they want money. That's what they want. So to achieve that, they have to make this advertising platform, Facebook Ads Manager, as less complicated as possible, so an average Joe, as Susan, who's 50 years old, can actually get into that and run ads without a problem. So how does this change the algorithm? To be honest, it changes this a lot. So since they're taking the controls away from the advertisers, it is making this platform more and more TikTok-like and organic Instagram Reels-like. And that is actually impacting how we do our advertising in day to day. So it is, let's say you imagine you scroll down your Instagram and you see a haircut video. You watch it till the end, you send it to your friends through DMs. And you will start seeing more of that video on your feed, on your explore page. This is how the TikTok algorithm started, because there's no, like, you don't see what you follow on Instagram anymore, right? It was back in the days. Now what you interact with on your feed, you start to see more and more of those. So they are trying to mimic that organic Facebook or organic Instagram and organic TikTok into their advertising policies. So what that means is the targeting is going to be less and less accurate, meaning you can still do your targeting, which I'm going to cover in what cases you do targeting, in what cases you go broad. But what they want to mimic is they want to target people with their creatives. So they want to create that environment where the creative is the main focus, main vocal point. And if you engage with that, or whatever action you do in the Facebook advertising itself, that is going to trigger you to being served more of those ads. Let's say I watch the ad of, let's say, this microphone to the end, and let's say my engagement type with this ad is, let's say, buying this product. Going there and buying this product is what it's called engaging if I'm choosing a sales objective campaign, right? I'm going to get into that in more detail. It doesn't make sense now because the algorithm is changing rapidly. So you have to understand how this algorithm works and how you can make the most of Facebook ads in 2025. All right, see you in the next one. As I said, it is becoming more and more creative focused. What do I mean by this? Now you cannot get a person to record a Fiverr video, a testimonial video, or an unboxing video and expect great results. It doesn't work anymore. Give it a shot, you will see it doesn't work. Because the user-generated content boomed with 2020 till 2022, it did perform really well. But now if you try user-generated content, most likely it will flop. And you see those performance of those user-generated content is going downhill because it is not authentic anymore. You don't see your friends talking about a product on their feeds. You don't see a friend of yours on Instagram unboxing something. You don't see that anymore. That was unique, and actually before that people were talking about stuff. Now you see an unboxing, you immediately tell it's an ad. That's why people are not engaging with those ads. People are not buying those stuff. Of course, if you use tons of user-generated content as a retargeting, one of those will make a sale. I mean, if you want to make great sales, great numbers, great return on your ad spend, you're not going to be achieving those with the user-generated classic content. Because in this course, we're going to dive really deep into what type of creative styles actually work. And let's say you watch this video, this course, a year later, and the things that I'm going to talk about are not going to be that valid. So you have to be on top of the trends, what is going on organically, so you implement those organic strategies into your ad. And that is really, really important, guys. If you stick to what used to work 2 years ago, that's not going to work anymore. And it is changing rapidly, a different style, creative styles that we have right now. And you have to get onto those trends as fast as possible and ignore those past UGC creatives to see great results. Since we talked about the creative side, let's talk about the interest side. Almost dead. We can easily say that. But in certain cases, You have to use some interests. One of the friends that I have who works in Facebook is an engineer who is responsible from the data side of the algorithm. He told me the interests are actually 40 to 39% accurate. The 39% of those people are actually really interested in that interest group you have. Let's say it's a Black Friday interest. And 39% of those people are actually going to be interested in the concept of Black Friday and the shopping. And the rest isn't there by accident. That's how less accurate those interests are. So you have to be really mindful when you're using the interest targeting. People used to do, I remember in 2019, dissecting those interests. We had one betting client, and the CEO of the agency I was working at, he was dissecting the ads. Let's say a betting, sports betting, gambling, something betting, like those are almost the same audiences, right? But each audience has 1 million people inside of it. 90% of those audiences are similar, but the person who was running the ads, which was a norm back then, right? People were running the ads like that. They were like dissecting separate ad sets on each of those ads. Now, if you do that strategy, you're just going to extend the learning period, meaning we're going to come into the learning phase and how important it's going to be. But now if you do that strategy, it's going to extend the learning phase and you're going to see less and less good results. So you have to understand, you don't want to use those interest guidelines as Bibles. Even the behaviors, even the demographics, they're not as accurate, guys. So you have to be really mindful when you're using those interests. When do I use it? Which I'm going to get into it, but when I will probably use an interest when I'm starting a brand new ad account, or if I have an extremely niche product, which I'm going to give some examples about. All right, let's move on. Speaking of the interests, lookalike audiences are also dying. Why is that? If you've been running ads for the past into this 2024, you will see the lookalikes are not performing as well. And this doesn't make sense, because let's say you upload a list of 5,000 people, and that list is your own data. You literally have that data on your backend, you upload it to Facebook, and it has a high match rate, but it doesn't perform for some reason. And you have a broad targeting outperforming that lookalike audience. This doesn't make sense to you. The reason being is, even though you upload the list to Facebook, provide that information, the information that is being reflected is going to get lost in the algorithm. So the reason being is, it's going to have a 40 to 50% show rate, meaning you upload it, there's a 90% match, but once you create a lookalike, they don't know how that lookalike is going to be, meaning they have their core audience, and they cannot find that similar audience based on the data being collected by Facebook. That's why those lookalike audiences are not going to be accurate as well, just like I said, as interest groups. All right, let's get into it. Let's cover the meat and potatoes. This was the intro, what you can expect overall from Facebook ads. Now we're going to dive deep, get some technical information, and you will learn a lot. And again, if you already found some information, please drop a comment below, and that will help me a lot, and let me know what you think. All right, let's get into it. Facebook learning phase. What is this? And people use this term super loosely. This learning, that learning. For the past 7 years, I've been working in digital marketing agencies, right? And the account managers and the advertisers, they don't know what learning is. They use this as like a joker card, right? Learning phase, learning this, learning campaign, learning ad, learning algorithm. Everything is learning when things not going in their way. So you should be aware of what learning is, so you can use this to your benefit, to your advantage. So when you first put an ad live and then brand new ad account, let's say, you start running that ad, it will be eligible. And then it will be learning. It will try to learn. And after a while, if you do not have that budget to get that optimization event out of learning, it will be learning limited. How one ad gets out of the learning? Actually, ad set. So the learning happens on an ad set level, not campaign level, not ad level. Let's give an example. To get out of the learning phase, you have to have at least 50 optimization events in the last 7 to 10 days. What is that? Optimization event, as you guys can see here, is the optimization event you choose, not the campaign setting and sales or whatever the case may be. It's not that. You choose an optimization event. You can choose a sales objective, and then your optimization event could be landing page views. So if you have 50 landing page views in the last 7 days, you will get out of the learning phase, which is amazing, right? Not really, guys. You want to choose your, if your goal is sales, of course, your optimization event should be purchases. So if you get 50 purchase, you will get out of the learning phase, which is great. And the new updates they're coming up with is you can get 10 optimization events in the last 3 days. This is actually great. If you do the math, that means you can get out of the learning phase a lot faster. And in some ad accounts, in most of my ad accounts, I see this, and you can get out of the learning phase a lot faster. But in some ad accounts, depending on when you see this, you will still have 50 optimizations events in the last 7 days. So let's say you got out of the learning phase and you go back into learning phase. How does this happen? And people usually use this a lot. Like, we got back into learning phase because we did an edit. So Facebook has something called a significant edit. If you make a significant edit in your ad set or ad or campaign level, your ad set might go back to the learning phase. What are those significant edits? So they think only increasing the budget, most of the advertisers think only increasing the budget will get you back into the learning phase. Not really. On some cases, changing some ad that is performing really well might get you back into the learning phase. Changing a targeting might get you back into the learning phase. It will get back into the learning phase. If you change a demographic, it will get you back into the learning phase. If you change a campaign setting, it will get you back into the learning phase. If you pause an ad that's not been getting much more impressions, you're not probably gonna get back into the learning phase. But you have to keep that in mind. If you like introduce 5 ads into an ad set, when you have 5 ads already, you're gonna get back into the learning phase. So now you know what a learning phase is, and you know how to get out of the learning phase. And let's answer the $1 million question. Actually, is the learning phase important? So I work with some advertisers. They used to think learning phase doesn't really matter. It's a myth, because if you put the right creatives in front of the right audience, your ads are going to perform. And they tested this by seeing the performance before they got into the learning phase, once it was learning limited, and once it got out of the learning, right? They looked at the numbers, and the performance is like, the difference is negligible. So the question becomes, is this really important? If you ask me, guys, back in the days, it wasn't. The reason being is the targeting was super, super accurate. So once the targeting was accurate, that really makes sense, right? They don't have to learn a lot to find the optimal audience, because the targeting, the interest groups was 90% accurate. You were showing your ads to that person or the interest group, and it was like, oh, okay, like that audience literally into Black Friday, and they love shopping Black Friday. And when the Black Friday comes, you offer your Black Friday offer, you have 10x ROAS, 11x ROAS, and the targeting is super accurate. And you don't really need the learning phase to get out of the learning phase to be, the learning is done and then you actively improving the performance. Doesn't really matter. And it didn't really matter. But now, as I said, guys, going back to the intro, the audiences are not accurate at all. So what you have to do now is to rely on the algorithm. So if you do not get out of the learning phase properly with the right campaign objective and the right performance optimization goal, your performance is going to suffer drastically. Now in 2025, you really have to be careful. You want to get out of the learning phase with the right optimization events. I personally do not suggest trying to getting out of the learning phase with trying to trick the algorithm in a way, going with a landing page view, link click, optimization events, because that is not your goal. Even if that they learn it, they learn the wrong thing. They learn to bring you the people who are more likely to click on your ads and go to your landing page and do nothing, right? You don't want that. Let's say you're doing broad targeting, or even you're doing interest targeting. Since the audience is not going to be that accurate, since there's going to be only 40% match rates, the learning is going to be your bread and butter, guys. Now you want to get out of the learning phase. So that's why making a lot more changes in the ad account is not going to be that optimal as we used to do, right? Back in the days, we used to like change the interests, do this, do that. Now it doesn't work that way. Unfortunately, I like to do those edits. As coming back to our point, Facebook wants to make the algorithm as friendly as possible to 50 years old Susan, who has a bakery. Now she can put some ads, forget it, and then she accidentally gets out of the learning phase, and her ad account starts performing really, really well. Let's wrap up the part about the learning. happens in the ad sets, not in the ad level, not in the campaign level. The current learning phase is 50 optimization events in the last 7 days. They're rolling out to 10 conversions in the last 3 days. Depending on which one you have, focus on that. And I don't suggest using another optimization event to get out of the learning phase. And learning phase is becoming more and more important in 2025. And let's see you in the next module. Now you know the learning phase and how to get out of the learning phase. Let's talk about the ad set structure, the campaign structure, which makes more sense in 2025 to get out of the learning phase, right? Let's say you have a clothing brand. Let's say you are selling something like Gymshark. You're running the ads for Gymshark. And in theory, what it was like in 2020, 2021, still after the iOS 14 updates, people resisted that change, and the ads were like being run like this. They had a sports interest, they had a sportswear interest, and this audience, I'm gonna talk about the estimated size, right? Estimated size that you are able to target. 5 million in Australia, for instance, sportswear, 1 million. Let's say yoga pants. This is, let's say, 500,000. And these are all different ad sets. So keep in mind, ad sets number 1, number 2, number 3. They ideally, in theory, they're testing, right? They're seeing which audience is the most profitable. But let's do the math. They go on. Number 4, engage shoppers. This was, I think, 2 million, if I'm not mistaken, Australia. Number 5, they used to do sporty, like those similar small interests. This was, let's say, 50K audience. Number 6, we have, let's say, gym wear. Let's say this is 2 million. Cool, let's say they have 6 different audiences and ad sets. Keep in mind, these are ad sets, six different ad sets. So what people ideally thinking is, all right, I'm gonna run this. At the end of 1 week, I'm spending $100 a day each. This will give me 2 ROAS. I will keep this. This will give me 0.5 ROAS. I will kill this. This will give me 1 ROAS. I will kill this. This will give me, let's say, 6 ROAS. I will keep this, increase the budget. This will give me 2 ROAS. You get the point. And ideally, what they're doing, they're spending $100 a day. In 1 week, they're getting 5 purchase. Let's say here they get like 10 purchase. But can you see the pattern here? They get like this is 0 purchase, 2 purchases. At the end of that, what is happening? They're still in the learning phase, and the learning is going to be limited. The budget is a big component here, guys. When a person has a budget of $20 and they cannot increase the budget, if there's no way of them increasing the budget, forget about the learning phase. You're not going to get out of the learning phase. So forget about going with a purchase objective, or if you have a brick and mortar store, right? Or you're a coffee shop or restaurant, you're not going to get out of the learning phase. If you use a landing page view objective or a traffic objective, you can try that. You can test that. But I still value using the right campaign objective and optimization event. Let's say if it's purchase or a lead is more important than the learning phase, LP, learning phase. That's what I think. And there are some advertisers thinking otherwise, but I would still consider, if you are never going to get out of learning phase, if your client has $50 budget and that's the only money they're going to spend, even if you make them a millionaire, you're going to optimize towards the right objective over learning phase. All right, let's go back. We're talking about in a scenario where you can scale, right? You have a budget, you can increase the budget, you're generating leads online, you're selling online, so on and so forth. And here you're not gonna get, even you optimize like crazy. Let's say you kill those non-performers, you still are going to test. You still $100, you increase the budget, let's say you do 20, you're still gonna test, right? Cool. What are you going to do at the end? Ideally, the classic scenario is turning this ad set budget optimization into a campaign budget optimization. And with the CBO, what you're going to do is you're going to let Facebook decide how much money you're going to spend on each ad set. Let's say this spends 400 a day, and you get 30 purchases a week, and you have 2 purchases a week. You're still in learning phase. Do you see what I'm trying to tell you here? What I would do in this scenario, if I'm able to spend 600 a day, I consolidate everything. Sportswear, yoga pants, sporties, gym wear. Engage shopper is not that related, but you can still put that in. I would combine everything into one ad set, and I will have an estimated audience size of, let's say, 10 million, huge audience, and I will let it run, and I will get out of the learning phase in 2 weeks. And I will have every week more than 50 purchases. The reason being is, one, Facebook has more data. Two, Facebook can actually play around where they want to show the ads to. They get the right signal. And if I'm getting 30, 32 in total here, I'm 100% sure I'm going to get more than 35 with this strategy. And in the second week, you can easily make 50 purchases because the learning is going to be faster. So you're gonna get out of the learning phase even faster. You're probably thinking, Jim, it's not, the math is not mathing. This is 30, 32, but how did you get 50 if you combine all? The thing I'm saying is, if you combine everything all together, the estimated audience size is gonna increase. So they're playing with a smaller pool, and in that smaller pool, they're trying to find a really small niche. But here, if you give them a bigger signal, like this niche, finding this niche, even though the number of people are going to be same in here and in here, their ability to find that niche purchase optimization event is going to be way, way, way faster. So that's why I'm theorizing, and I've seen this time and time again, we're going to get a lot more purchases in a lot shorter time, and you will be able to scale a lot faster. That's why Facebook always suggests you consolidating these ad sets, these audiences, removing those audience overlaps. Before, to be honest, before 2019, before the iOS updates, I was ignoring that completely, which made sense. That's the reason why I told you it made sense. But now, the learning phase is becoming more important. If you want to be successful in 2025, you should not ignore the learning phase. That is going to get you more purchasers, and you're going to be more efficient. And I remember I will close this module with a really good story. In 2022, I think, I was still in this campaign structure. And we were thinking we were testing things properly, and the client was running the ads himself in the ad account as well. They were consolidating everything, making a huge audience. I was like, this doesn't make sense. How are you going to know which audience works, which audience doesn't work? Maybe you're spending more budget on here where you have zero ROAS, right? Didn't make sense. But that audience was beating my audiences. I was like, how the fuck? Like, he doesn't even know how to run ads, but he's beating me. And I didn't understand at that time. So you have to consolidate the audiences, related audience themes. Sometimes it doesn't have to be related. Like the client's example, client didn't have any related consolidation. He put everything in, like whatever comes into his mind, but it performed better, and he got out of learning phase better. So that is the case. Do not think you're being analytical when you are doing this. You're gonna do this analytical testing in the creative side, which we're gonna come into after a little bit. All right, see you in the next one. Although it is not so advanced, I see some advertisers still do not understand the differentiation between those optimization settings. So from the campaign level, once we go to the ad set level, you will see this section. This part tells us where you want the conversion location to be at. Like, where do you want to count that conversion? So if it's an app, you drive an app purchase. Of course, this is not going to be a website, right? In website and app, you count both of these at the same time. But since my campaign objective is not that, I'm not able to select this. And some people count those conversions as how many messages they receive, how many messages initiated, or how many Instagram profile visits they get. So this would be a separate conversion location. Or if you want to sell through the phone and you only want to count that conversion as a phone call, that action will be conversion action location, specifically be on the calls, right? So here, that is important. So if I were to choose here, if I come here, if I were to choose leads, for instance, my conversion location will change, as you guys can see, and it gives me the option to select instant forms. Then I wouldn't be counting that conversions on website. I would be counting those conversions on the Facebook instant forms itself. So there is a separate conversion action that, of course, you're going to get a very low cost per acquisitions when you select instant forms as a conversion location. Hope this is clear, guys. In the next module, I will talk about the performance goals and the conversion optimization events. All right, now we selected the conversion location. Let's say we chose websites, even let's say we want to go with leads, and I will go to the ad set level back again and websites. Cool. Let's say I want to count the leads on the website. I will go down. Here we have the performance goal. This is the part you're telling Facebook is what you want to focus on. This is not optimization events that we covered. So this is not going to get you out of the learning phase. This is not being what is being counted, right? This is the goal, what you want to achieve at the end. If you go to the drop down, you will say maximize number of conversions. So this is basically going to tell Facebook, all right, this is what you want to focus on. So we chose leads. But even though your campaign objective is leads, for instance, you can focus your goal on, let's say, maximize number of landing page views or clicks or unique reach or impressions. So that is totally up to you, but my goal is always maximize number of conversions if I want to optimize for conversions. If I were to optimize for traffic, I would also select in the campaign details, select the traffic campaign, because this gives a separate signal than the conversion performance goal. It sends a totally different signal. So I always go with this, but I see some people playing around testing this. They don't see a huge difference. Just to keep in mind, I want to play it safe. I always choose this one. And here, guys, the important part is if I choose something other than conversions, as you guys will see, maximize number of link clicks, the conversion optimization event just disappeared. Why is that? So let's go back and select maximize number of conversions. We can see the conversion events. So this means the learning is going to happen on the website. This is basically telling that. That's why it's giving you these options for you to optimize towards leads, submit application, contact, find location, complete registration, sort of stuff. So in my case, I always select lead. This is the conversion event. I was telling you some people are trying to trick the algorithm before this module and they choose performance goal. So as you guys can see, we cannot select clicks here. So it is not given to us as a click, as an optimization event. So if you say, I want to get out of the learning phase, I have a limited budget, then you have to go to the performance goal and choose something like link clicks or landing page views. Let's say we go with link clicks. At the bottom, as you guys can see, this is disappeared. The reason being is the conversion optimization event is literally link clicks. So you cannot choose anything from here. It will be automatically on link clicks and you will get out of the learning phase pretty fast. And as I said, if your goal is not leads, or I don't suggest you choose your optimization event as a link click. So if you choose your performance goal as link clicks, your optimization event is automatically link clicks. But if you choose conversion, you will be able to choose from different conversions, contact, find location, that will be happening on your website. So if I were to choose, let's say, a website sales objective, I would be able to see a different optimization event. So I will still going to choose maximize number of conversions, but conversion event, I would see add to cart, right? Initiate checkout, specific for an e-commerce. Wrap it up, guys. The first thing first, location is where you have that optimization event. Performance goal is also giving the signal what you want to achieve. And if you don't select conversion and website, it will disappear. This conversion event will disappear. So let's say if you choose link clicks, as I automatically optimizing towards link clicks, and the conversion event just disappeared. So we usually go with maximize number of conversions and select purchase. Or if you want to do add to cart, which I don't really suggest, you will get out of learning a little bit faster, but still a viable option compared to this one is a viable option compared to selecting just link clicks. Hope this makes sense, but I suggest still going with purchase, which is the safest bet. All right, see you in the next one. All right, guys and girls, now we're gonna master the audience segments, audience targeting, what type of audience targeting we can do as an advanced Facebook ads marketer. All right, let's jump in. Now, first, we're gonna start with audience controls, guys. We have audience controls and the audience advantage plus audience, which is the targeting that we have. The difference, some still advertisers they miss this part, this actually gives a really strict guideline of what you want to target. So if I set my minimum age to, let's say, 22, I won't be targeting people below 22. So I will go down here. It starts with, as you guys can see at the top, it starts with my Advantage Plus audience, starts with 22. So this actually acts as a really strict guideline and a strict guide, so it won't go below this. But here, even if you set 60, since this is Advantage Audience Plus, and this might go above 60. So this doesn't act as a strict guideline, but this audience controls act as a strict guideline. So in terms of location, you want to do the same, what you want to target, and you want to make sure whatever you're targeting is set in the audience controls level. So it kind of sets a really good overall benchmark, so you don't go above and beyond that. So we set Melbourne, Australia, we go down. Let's say I never want to target someone below 22, and I can set exclude these custom audiences, which I can exclude regardless of whatever happens. I never want to target my website visitors. You can say that. In some cases, you want to say that because, as I said, broad targeting does a lot of retargeting, guys. It doesn't make sense, but yes, if you have a lot of data coming from, let's say, Google ads, TikTok ads, your Facebook advertising, if you do a broad targeting, they'll do a lot of retargeting automatically. Because, as I said, the algorithm is now acting as who is engaging with your ad the most, and they serve the ads to those people. And if you have a great number of people coming from different traffic sources, your advertising account and Facebook algorithm will show your ads to those people who already visited the site and claim that sale. If you don't want that to happen, exclude that custom audience in the audience control. So that will set a really strict boundary compared to your Advantage Plus audience. So this was the audience control, which is really important. You'll see a lot of people miss this part. All right, now we are in the broad targeting. Broad targeting, as I said, guys, it does automatically do a lot of retargeting in and of itself. So if you're gonna do broad targeting and you don't mind it is doing a little bit of retargeting, you can take this part out from the audience controls. So I will go down. I would usually have a broad targeting regardless of the industry. If I'm extremely niche, I will still have a broad targeting, and I will only set a gender and age constraint. As I said, this is not going to be super strict. This may go show your ads to women as well at the same time, since this is Advantage Plus. You can switch it to original audiences options. They're fading this away on some ad accounts, but on this ad account, I can still see this. Depending on where you watch this video, they might take it out completely. So the custom audiences, we're going to cover that, but in broad targeting, we're not going to touch anything else. You do maybe 57, 29 to 57, and go ham, like go crazy. So on the right hand side, I usually want to keep my audience size a minimum 1.5 million, but depending on the country, and I'm just targeting one city here, it is quite normal to have it under 1 million, so I will not freak out if that's the case. So the goal with the broad targeting is we want to leverage the artificial intelligence of Facebook. As I said, they have more data and they actually show your ads depending on how people interact with the ads. They don't know the data as well, so that's why people are going crazy about, oh, Facebook is not performing anymore, so on and so forth. So keep that in mind, guys. This still works, and broad targeting is extremely profitable, but that will not be my only audience targeting ad set. So I will have a broad and a consolidated audience targeting, 2 ad sets. Even if it's lead gen or e-commerce, doesn't really matter. I would still utilize that. All right, guys, now we are in the custom audiences section. Now we're in the ad set level again, Advantage Plus audience. But there's something you should keep in mind, guys. If you want to exclude other audiences, you can either exclude here, but you cannot exclude here when it's Advantage Plus. You have to switch the original audiences to exclude certain audiences, or you can use audience control section. So we go down, what else we have? Maybe some audience types you are missing. Let's cover those. So we're gonna say custom audience after we click on And then custom audience. All right, we have a bunch of options. I will tell you what are my favorites. You probably know those, but I will go over that a little bit. I have website. This is my favorite. I spend 90% of my time here. This is great. But, big caveat here. So this performance of the website is actually going down every single day. Every single day it is declining in performance. The reason being is, guys, this is going through the pixel or API, whatever you have, server or a pixel. This is going to be less and less and less accurate as the time goes by. The reason being is Facebook is not gathering the whole data. So your pixel is trying to collect the data, but half of the users are using iPhone and they are opting out of those cookies and stuff. So you are not going to be tracking probably more than 60% of that audience. So you're going to be missing out on a lot. Keep that in mind. That's why I suggest using meta sources as a lookalike source or a targeting source. This is going to be 100% accurate. The reason being is everything is on Meta. And Meta holds that. So this is Meta's audience. People are logging into Meta. They're not leaving Meta. And they're collecting the data on Meta itself. So nobody's going to your website. Nobody has to opt in or opt out of the cookies. This is 100% almost accurate. There's still going to be a little variant. So now I was doing my 90% on the website. Now I'm switching to 50-50. Now 50% of customer leads and website visitors, added to cart, checkout, watch the video on my site, blah, blah, blah. But here, Meta Sources is giving me the best lookalike sources. Meaning, I create a lookalike of people watching 55% of one of my ads. I get great results, guys. You will go crazy if you haven't tried that. Focus more on these when you create your lookalike audiences. You will see amazing results, I'm telling you. And Instagram account, also Meta owned. But the problem with this is, guys, you will have a lot of people from overseas, right? Like people engaging with your ads from India and so on and so forth. If you create a lookalike audience of those, you're missing, let's say, depending on how many people are actually in your country, you're missing out half of these. So that's why I don't really suggest the Instagram account. Events totally specific. Facebook page depends. Again, it will be the same with Facebook. On Facebook listings, I never use this one, to be honest. Shopping, you can do that. That is a great one. Instant experience depends on the type of ads you're showing. Lead form, you have to have enough budget to leverage lead form, because imagine this, guys, you have $20 budget a day, or $100, say, and then you're getting one click a day, right? And your cost per click is $1, let's say you're getting 100 clicks a day and people are opening the form and you have 100 clicks every single day. So you are gonna have in 30 days 3,000 people clicking, and half of them are not seeing. So 1,500 people are not going to be enough big of an audience who is seeing the lead form for you to create a lookalike audience. So I usually see better results if I have more than $500 or $1,000 budget and I'm doing lead generation on Facebook. So again, this has to be on Facebook. And the best of the best is video, guys. I click on video, I select 95% for maximum accuracy, and they have to be really engaged. And I select videos, and this, of course, guys, has to be, you can either choose Facebook pages, campaign, video ID, professional account. The best performance I see is the ads. So whoever engaged with my ads the most when I create a lookalike, that performs way better. Again, this Facebook page and Instagram professional account are not going to be that good. So that's why I suggest campaign, and you have to have active ads to create that. So I usually go campaign. I have to have an active ad and 3-second video views, and the people viewing that ad has to be a substantial number of people for that to be profitable. So I'm Xing out of those. So, and then you have to name this. And audience retention, I usually do maximum here. You can't do more than 365 days. So I usually do 365 in 1 year. Or if you want to be a little bit more conservative and you have a big budget, you can do 180. I usually don't go below 180 days, depending on the product, of course. So that is my number one custom audience that I create usually. To retarget, still an amazing tool. To create a lookalike, still an amazing tool. So video engagement is my number one. And as I said, you can still go with websites and create a lookalike based on people visiting the site, or add it to cart, people who visited spent a specific time on the page. But keep in mind, those are not going to be super accurate. As I said, 50% accuracy, you're lucky if you get 50% accuracy with those website related audiences. So this wraps up the custom audiences, guys. Alrighty, now we are at narrowing down audiences. Should you do it? Should you not do it? Favorite things to do back in the days, but I still do it. Why? You will tell me, Jim, the audiences are not accurate. Why are you doing this? Why are you spending time on this? As you said to us, audiences are not accurate. Yes, that is correct. Audiences almost have 40% accuracy. I mean, the interest groups, the behavior, so on and so forth. But I sometimes see great results depending on the ad account and the client, to be honest. So I never back away from testing and narrowing down audiences. The only thing is, if I'm narrowing down an audience in an ad set, I want to have at least 1.5 million people in the audience. That's the only rule I have before narrowing it down. So let's do location-wise, let's do whole Australia, because if I narrow something down in Melbourne, it's going to be super, super small. I do Australia, I go down, and let's select sports. Let's do yoga pants. Cool. And I will click on suggestions, leggings, and then tights, sportswear fashion. So we have now 1.1 million, which is good. And then I will add some yoga clothing, men's footwear. So I'm stacking this, as you guys can see, as I explained this in our learning phase section. I'm stacking those: streetwear clothing, street fashion clothing, physical exercise, hip hop fashion clothing. Cool. Now we have a quite bit of chunk of an audience, almost 3 million. Now what we can do, now I'm going to narrow this down. So, but still I'm in Advantage Plus. So if you don't know the original audience difference from the Advantage Plus, I'm going to cover that in a bit. So I'm going to click Define Further. Now I'm setting that also have to match a certain demographic, but it has to make sense. So I usually, when I'm narrowing down, I narrow down on an audience, on a client, if it's an e-com brand, right? And I do usually engage shoppers. So they usually give great results, but keep in mind, if you narrow a certain audience down, the performance usually dies off in 15 to 30 days. These audiences, the narrowed down audiences, they spike, perform really, really well in the first 10 to 15 days, and then they slowly die off. So this is the structure I follow. I usually stack a lot of audiences, and then I have an engaged shoppers audience as a narrowed down audience. And if you look at on the right hand side, I have exactly 1.5, 1.6 million audience size. You can make it bigger by adding stuff here as well. Maybe online shopping, if you can add that. Now I'm at 2 million. So this is great. So I'm targeting people who are interested in that big stack of tight leggings and sportswear and stuff and fashion. And also I'm targeting people, they have to also match this online shopping and retail. So my audience size is 2.5 million. I'm happy with this. It's a pretty big size chunk audience. I know this is not going to be as accurate, 50% accuracy if I'm lucky, but I usually never back down from testing, and this might give you great results, but keep in mind, this is not going to be a long-term strategy. You might see some bursts when you're using this type of strategy. So if you use this type of narrowing down your audiences, this works great for Black Friday, great for Christmas, short-term burst campaigns with an end date in mind. All right, see you in the next one. All right, now let's cover the differences between original audiences and Advantage Plus audiences. So the Advantage Plus audience is just like giving a signal to the audience. So it just says, whatever you put in, we will prioritize what you put in here. In this case, they will prioritize this audience, and then they will expand from that, from seeing who else reacts to that person. Let's say in my core audience, I have a bunch of interest, and let's say people who are into hip hop reacts to that audience a little bit better, right? They watch it more, or they click on the ads a little bit more. So they will show my ads to more people who are interacting, who are interested in hip hop. which makes sense for them, right? But I trust the algorithm because, as I said, the algorithm of Facebook ads is now mimicking the TikTok's organic and Instagram's organic Reels algorithm. So I give my audience, I do my targeting with my creatives, and this will give them a little bit of a signal. I'm basically telling them, all right, this is the audience, start from there. If you see a good signal, expand. So this is the Advantage Plus audience targeting. So if you go X out of everything and go to switch to original audience options, and it will tell you lower cost per result, blah, blah, blah. You will click on original audiences, and now you will be able to target audiences, but they will exclusively target these people. So they will not expand beyond that. Even if they see a great signal and people engage from the hip hop fashion audience, they will not expand. They will still target people into this bracket. So keep that in mind, guys. If you ask me what I do, what I target, I usually test different audiences. If my logic, of course, it makes sense logically, I would go with Advantage Plus. 90% of the time, I do Advantage Plus targeting. As I said, I'm a big fan of leveraging AI since in 2025, it is more AI based and the algorithm is getting smarter in how they engage with the ads. I usually do Advantage Plus, but 10% of the cases, I do original audiences. What are those cases? Retargeting, for instance, or if there's an extremely niche product that I have to target CEOs, for instance, CEOs who own Fortune 500 companies, then I will try to mock up some audience that has a quite large size on the estimated audience definition here that makes sense as an original audience. So it definitely depends, but 90% of the time, even if it's a lead generation, you will see better results with Advantage Plus, guys. All right, see you in the next one. All right, guys, now it is time to cover the retargeting strategies. This is changing a lot in 2025. I definitely suggest you change the way you retarget people. All right, let's cover how we were using retargeting in the old days. Old days meaning I still see some advertisers doing this. They don't want to get out of the old way of advertising, and this doesn't make sense. Let's cover. Back in the days, we used to have a middle of funnel campaign, right? Bottom of funnel, middle of funnel, top of funnel. Meaning, this is people who are slightly engaged with our ads, or maybe seen our ads, view our videos, or maybe even visited the website, right? And then we have bottom of funnel. This is like added to cart, initiated checkout, viewed the landing page, but they haven't bought yet. And we have a reactivate campaign. I see some advertisers do it, which is not a bad idea, right? People bought stuff like in the past, in the last 180 days, and we are trying to target those people with a different set of products. But of course, the product has to make sense. If you're generating leads, this doesn't make sense. It's only for e-commerce and if you have more than one product. All right, now let's cover why we shouldn't do it this way. Let me tell you this. The audiences you upload and most of the retargeting that you do are gonna be like a leaking bucket. Imagine a bucket here, and then you're pouring water, right? This is the traffic. This is the traffic you're pouring, and this is the bucket. And imagine this bucket is leaking. So every person you're putting in, let's say 180 people, out of those 180, 90% of that, let's say, Insta engagers actually not gonna go away because it is Instagram-based audience. This is going to be pretty accurate. Video views as well. But website visitors, add to cart, initiate checkout, content view, both in 180 days. So even if you do retarget those people separately, they're going to be leakages. Let's say 90 people out of those 180 are not going to be in the bucket, even though you use the pixel to exclude them, right? Or exclude here. So those audiences are not going to be perfect. So if you want to show one ad to people who haven't bought and one ad to person who have bought before, but this is not going to be as accurate as I said. So that's why we don't want to be really specific on how we restructure our retargeting campaigns. Again, you're going to be wasting a lot of budget, and the accuracy of that, you're thinking actually you're targeting these people with a super specific nuances, but actually in reality, the person who you're targeting in middle of funnel, you're also accidentally maybe targeting here in the bottom of funnel, or maybe you're accidentally targeting here. So as I said, the accuracy are not going to be there, so you're missing half of that audience bucket, even though it's retargeting, except the meta based audiences, meaning insta engagers, video views, and those audiences that happen on meta or open the lead form. The new way we're targeting, and let's cover how we actually retarget. What I suggest, I usually have one campaign and one ad set under that, and that is my whole retargeting campaign. And underneath that, I do put everything. I stack them. Again, I put an Instagram engages. You can do this in an ad set level as well. Doesn't have to be a separate campaign if you're using ad set budget optimization. You have an Instagram engagers audience, video views audience. Video views, as I said, 180 days works really great depending on number of people. Instagram engages, again, I prefer 180. If you don't have a big Instagram, do it 365. And then website visitors, maximum 180 I put in. Add to cart 180, initiate checkout 180, content views 180, and both in 180 days. This is again only valid for e-commerce, not lead generation. So when I stack these audiences, even though, because if you think about it logically, a person who added to cart or initiated checkout already visited the website, already view your video ads, and already view the content. So you're basically not enabling. So let's say if you miss this person in this bucket, add to cart, and you want to retarget that person, because as I said, half of them are going to be missing, you're targeting that person in the website visitors, targeting that person in video views. So there's less likelihood of you missing that person when you stack them all together like this. So there's going to be an overlap again, as I said, but even though you miss that audience or the person in one of them, at least one of them are going to catch. Again, it's not going to be 100% accurate. So most of your audiences are going to keep seeing your ads even though you exclude a certain audience. Let's say you exclude both in 180 days. Most of the audiences are going to see that ad again, half of them most likely. I've seen this case many times. Even though you exclude them, they will still see the ad. Again, that's why I said half of them are going to be falling out of that leaking bucket. Does this make sense, guys? Let me know if it does make sense. Drop a comment down below. I'll be happy to answer, because this new way is going to be more efficient. You don't have to spend so much time in the old way. Now, that's why we're forgetting everything here, and we're putting one campaign and one ad set. And if you want to be really specific, maybe you can use a reactivation campaign separately, but I do not suggest that. And if you have a lead generation, just forget about this activation, reactivation campaign. Hope this is clear, guys. See you in the next one. Frequency, the $1 million question in retargeting campaigns. If you get a frequency of 4 or 5, the client might freak out. And I've seen those cases. If the client knows something about Facebook ads, they tend to freak out when they see a frequency going to 5. But it totally depends, guys. I do not have a frequency number. If I hit that frequency number, I freak out. No, I don't care. If I am profitable in that ad set, I would not care about the frequency going to 10, 15. I see some cases when I have to hit them with a lot of different ads on the retargeting audience, ad set or campaign, for them to buy. Let's say this is like a marketing agency service, or this is, let's say, outsourcing a product to Philippines. They have to see your ads many times for them to trust. Because otherwise, imagine this. You spend all your money on top of funnel. You spend thousands of dollars, let's say $1,000 a day. You scale to that point, $2,000 a day, $5,000 a day. You educate the audience with your ads. They get into a buying mode. They get into that mode there where, oh, actually, you know what? I need to buy that stuff. And they get into a research mode. Now they look at different websites, look at your website, the other person's website, and your competitor is smashing retargeting like crazy. If they, in that period, when you get that person to be interested and then realize they need that service, and imagine that you're not pushing a lot of budget to your retargeting, and you're only doing like $10 a day, $20 a day, because you think, I don't want to bore them with my ads too much. And then your competitor is smashing them with ads, 10 frequency, 20 frequency. what happens then? That person is more likely going to buy from that. And you did all the work. You spent thousands of dollars to get that person into that buying mode. But your competitor is actually getting that low-hanging fruit. You're actually, like shaking the tree, the fruits are hanging low, and then you're letting your competitors get those fruits. Don't look at the frequency as an end-all, be-all metric. Your retargeting should always be more profitable than your top-of-funnel ads. Let's cover why. So I will cover two scenarios. In the first scenario, your only advertising channel is Facebook ads. If your only advertising channel is Facebook ads, your retargeting is going to be more profitable than your top of funnel campaign, but by not a lot. So if you're running only Facebook ads, your retargeting campaign, let's say you have 5 ROAS on your retargeting campaign, and on your top of funnel, you have 4 ROAS. This is a normal scenario. From that point on, if you increase the budget and your return on ad spend drops below your top of funnel campaign, that is the spots where you pull back on the spend, or maybe keep the spend there a little bit and then see how it goes. There, I would not spend more if my retargeting ad set or audience is less profitable than my top of funnel audience. Keep this in mind, guys. This is really crucial. Let's cover a scenario where we have, by the way, the frequency doesn't matter. You could be at 3 frequency, 2 frequency. If you're at 2 frequency and you are less profitable than your top of funnel campaign, I still would not put more budget into it because you're not there yet. Like, you're not profitable. Let's cover a scenario where you have multiple advertising channels. You have Facebook ads, Google ads, TikTok ads. They're running Bing ads, Microsoft Bing ads, LinkedIn ads, radio, TV, a lot of stuff. At this point, your retargeting will be double the ROAS, but your retargeting efforts are not giving you that good ROAS. Other channels are generating a lot of pretty good performance, and Facebook is showing the ads to those people and then claiming that sale. Let's say you have 7-day click, 1-day view as an attribution setting, which is a default attribution setting on Facebook ads, and you're probably going to use this one without noticing it, right? And then what happens? They see the ad inherently because you're retargeting them. They clicked on the Google ads, LinkedIn ads, whatever the case may be, and then they see the ad on Facebook because you serve as a retargeting audience, and they see the ad even though they don't click on the ad on Facebook. Facebook will click the ad, claim the sale if they buy in the same day, in the same 24 hours. That is how Facebook is so greedy. And if you have multiple channels, your ROAS will be double your top of funnel. Let's say your top of funnel is 4 ROAS and your bottom of funnel retargeting campaign will be around 8, 9 ROAS. Double it even more. At that point, I have to be really cautious. At that point, I want to look at frequency. At that point, I could be wasting my money on Facebook retargeting because it is going to be a false data. If you look at Google Analytics, and Google Analytics will favor Google Ads, of course. That's why I suggest investing in, if you have budget, of course, Triple Whale, High Rose, those tracking softwares that are agnostic to the platforms. They're not owned by Google or Facebook, and they give more accurate data in terms of is it really profitable. If you have multiple channels again, and you have to look at the frequency, as I said, you have 2 options when it comes to you have multiple channels advertising, and your retargeting is going to be to the roof. What you want to do, you want to look at the frequency. If you are doubling the ROAS compared to your top of funnel campaign, let's say 4 to 8, you want to look at your frequency then. I don't want to pass 10 frequency if I have multiple channels and I'm running retargeting ads on Facebook. If I'm passing 10, you're going to still be profitable. If you triple the budget, you're still going to be at 10 ROAS. Doesn't change the fact because it's going to claim all the sales on Facebook. Your retargeting campaign. That's why that's when I start to look at the frequency. I'm at 10. If I increase the budget, what am I getting? And I will look back in the analytics and see how that's increasing the budget reflecting to my actual ROAS, not the inflated Facebook ROAS. The second option you have is you can change the attribution setting to 1-day click. If you do that just on the retargeting campaign, it is going to learn slower because it's going to have less data when you change the attribution setting from 7-day click, 1-day view to just 1-day click. You're going to have less data. However, the data is going to be more accurate. Then you can make a move with the 1-day click attribution setting. Your return on ad spend will be around, let's say, 2 or 3. If you up the budget, does it increase? That is a good point where you can make that decision. Let's cover lead generation, for instance. If you have a lead generation campaign and running multiple different channels at the same time, you can, and if you have a really high ticket offer, I can sometimes pass 10 ROAS, and in certain cases, I can get to 20 ROAS. And when we ask the client, when they turn into paying customers, they say, I keep seeing the Facebook ads. That's what I made that decision to buy. So that actually, you have to really talk to the customers and how they feel in terms of, seeing those, because you're going to have a low cost per acquisition in lead generation when you're doing retargeting, right? Your cost per acquisition is going to drop. At that point, you're going to look at CPA, and your cost per acquisition is going down as you increase the budget and you're passing 10 frequency. Then you have to consider, all right, are my clients, what did I say? What do I have to talk to my clients, right? If it's the lead generation, you're going to talk to them anyway. So you have to ask that as well. And if I look back at the analytics, if my Facebook ads still claiming that, of course, you have to be really cautious about that as well. You can still use 1-day click attribution, but I do not suggest if you have lead generation, because lead generation, if it's a high ticket lead generation, they're going to spend a lot of time before they buy, right? If it's a dentist, a doctor appointment, or like a coffee shop or a restaurant booking, of course, you don't have to do 7-day click, 1-day view. Just do 1-day click if you are in that niche. But if you're in a high ticket marketing agency, high ticket coaching, consulting, so on and so forth, you want to do 7-day click, 1-day view again with the same strategy, but look at the frequency, increase it, see if your CPA is going down. I draw the line around 10, but if my CPA is still going down, and if I look at Google Analytics 4 and it's still giving the reports to me saying it is actually impacting it positively, and realistically it is that low of a number, I will still increase the budget regardless of the frequency. So you have to double check the data in certain platforms, and of course look at the budget and the ROAS and your attribution. There are multiple factors in it. If you have any questions, again, drop down and comment below and I will be happy to answer. See you again next time. Retargeting creatives that work. I've worked with many advertisers in my career in agencies, and I've seen many quote-unquote professionals using top of funnel creatives, top of funnel copy, and putting it to the bottom of funnel campaigns. They call it a retargeting campaign, but in reality that becomes an increased frequency top of funnel campaign, because you're not pushing a new messaging, you're not acknowledging the relationship previously you had with that client. So you're basically increasing the frequency of your top of funnel campaign with a new campaign and calling it retargeting, which is not a retargeting campaign. All right, let's get into it, and I will give you some pro tips that will help you a lot. And if you're enjoying this course, don't forget to give me a thumbs up down below, and I will really appreciate that. All right, let's get into it. So we have one example, and in this example does this really well. It does two things really well. First thing first, acknowledging the relationship you had with the customer previously. So he does it in two spots, one in the ad copy, one in the creative. In the creative, like he uses some filters and stuff, makes it a little bit of humorous, and then you acknowledge that you've seen the ads but didn't take action, right? I actually did take action. I actually bought this book, but it's still retargeting me because, as I said, I previously covered this, the exclusions are not accurate because you're going to still see this. But the important point is, you can see in the copy, waiting on you to get my book has taken its toll. So it is acknowledging that in the ad copy, it is acknowledging that in the ad itself. Again, if you use the same ads on the top of funnel campaign and put it into the bottom of funnel campaign, it will simply be a increased frequency top of funnel campaign. You don't want that. You want to put, even though you don't put it here in this case, this is the core elements that we need to do. Acknowledge they've seen our ads. This ad is doing that really well. They're not doing any offers extra, any discounts or anything crazy. They're just using a different messaging, and that is super, super important when it comes to retargeting campaigns. And you're going to see good results, guys. Trust me. Let's move on. You can use a specific discount for your bottom of funnel audience. You can do this. A lot of e-commerce brands, they do it with emails, not on the ads. Due to the fact that the ads are not as accurate, because there might be some people who already bought with the full price and they see this discounted price and they might, request refunds because of that reason. That's why people do this with email marketing. So they set an automation up. If they add to cart and don't buy, they get the 25% off. But this could still be, if you take that risk of those people requesting refunds, you can still do that with your bottom of funnel creatives, right? They haven't bought the product, whatever you're selling in this case, and you are pushing a little bit more incentive in your bottom of funnel, saying, get this, I have an X% discount, which I didn't offer in my top of funnel. Now you're getting this discount because I want you to buy, basically, right? You can also do a free shipping. That really works well as well. What else you can do? Let's cover other examples. Testimonials is a classic. You probably know testimonials, but it is becoming more and more top of funnel. Now, not only bottom of funnel works, and bottom of funnel, I've been observing testimonials are not working as good as they used to. It's just a good addition to put in your retargeting ad set. It is not going to drive a majority of the sales, guys. So just keep in mind, if they haven't bought yet, there's a good chance they don't trust you, and testimonials do that trust a little bit for you. And most of the trust, in my opinion, has to be on the landing page. So if your landing page doesn't have any testimonials, this ad will only drive a click, and your landing page has to do the selling. If your landing page doesn't do the selling with the testimonials, with the great user experience, with the range of product photos, and all sorts of stuff like the free shipping, shipping details, how fast it's going to ship, so on and so forth, all these payment options. If you don't have those, this only going to get the click. Keep that in mind, guys. But of course, it is always one nudge. So it's just pushing a little bit more to that purchase. Let's see more. Let's see more examples. They're inserting personalization in the ads as well. Still similar to this one, acknowledging that they've seen the ads. So when we insert this personalization here, we're really feeling this for you. So this wouldn't make sense on a top of funnel ad, right? So who the hell are you? I don't know your brand. I don't know your brand tone. I don't know what you sell. It could be from Temu, Shane, all these crappy websites. Why should I buy from you, right? So people are going to have these questions, and people are not stupid. They're going to know, then they're going to ask those questions. If you ignore them and think I'm sneakily get a sale, that's not going to work. In this case, this does this really well in the ad copy. We're really feeling this for you. Shop now, shipping and returns are free. So additional free shipping, as I covered, free shipping works really well, plus a personalization, right? We're feeling this for you. So they acknowledging they had a previous connection with the brand. Either you visited the website or seen the ads, seen the video, so on and so forth. Like you had some sort of a touch point with that brand. So that really makes it valuable. Valuable. What else we have? Catalog. This is my favorite. We're going to jump into the ads manager as well, but I just want to show you why I love catalog so much, guys. Catalogs, if you're an e-commerce brand, of course, and you want to add frames into it, there are many more settings you will see, and I will cover this in this section of the module. A lot more you can do with the catalogs. And once you have a catalog ad in that retargeting ad set, 80 to 70% of the spend, regardless of how good your other ads are going to go to the catalog. And also they're going to dynamically show what they've seen before or what they are going to respond the best to. So most of your sales, most of your return on ad spend are going to come from the catalog ads. And if you have an e-commerce store and you're not using catalog ads, you're missing out. You're missing out, guys. I see great results when I use these green ticks in my benefits, as an ad copy in the primary text. I see great results. So they haven't bought from you. Maybe they didn't like the product. That could be, of course, a factor. Not everybody's going to buy from you, but maybe they don't know the benefits. Maybe you advertise with one benefit in one ad and they don't know the rest of the benefits, which are really valuable. So you want to list them in the ad copy. So they're undecisive still. They haven't bought from you. So you want to push them into their faces so they can actually be like, okay, this person is pushing all of the benefits that I didn't know they had. So buy one, so buy two, get one. Get credit for your next purchase. The more you stack, the more it's going to sound more valuable. All right, let's jump into the ads manager and I will show you some catalog settings you didn't know and you might find valuable. All right. All right, guys, we're in one campaign. We're gonna go into the campaign ad sets. We're gonna create a catalog ad. When it comes to catalog ads, guys, I like catalog ads when it's a carousel because you get to show more images and it takes longer in their stories and reels. So if it was only a single image, it's gonna be 15 seconds. But if you do a carousel in the stories and feed placements, it's gonna take way longer. So I'm gonna select carousel. Now it's catalog and it's carousel. So I'm gonna go down. As you guys can see, it will show more photos, not just one product. And I want to select all of my products, right? So I don't have much products here, 14 products, but 26 variants, right? So in total, I'm gonna have 14 products, not a lot. So as you guys can see, it will automatically turn this into a carousel and people can swipe right. What I want to show you guys, you probably know this already, but I usually go with single image, not a slideshow. But in the creative tools, I usually click on edit creative. So this gives you an ability to customize your catalogs a little bit more. So you can set add catalog info label. This is the first thing I do, which is really, really important if you have a discount. So if you show these like this, there's only one push you're giving them to buy the product or service. If they like this, the look of it, they can't touch it. They can only look at this product image. And the product images are usually boring images. They're not lifestyle images. You can put a lifestyle image, but usually they are boring images like this. So the only thing is the look of the product. What else you can do? If you have a discount, you can put that as well. So I will put manual labels and say automatic labels. It will show whatever they feel like. If they feel the price is more important for them, like showing the price for a person, it will show them. Let's say if they see a person reacting better to percentages off, so it's a test usually, but 60% off. If they react to that better, usually in the past, they will show 60% off to that person. I would like to do it manually. I don't do automatic. I will go to manual, come here, and I usually do strike through price. So it was X dollars, now Y dollars. Or you can do, there's also a tick here, only show the label when it's likely to increase engagement. No, I want you to show it all the time. So, or you can do a percentage off. That also works really, really well. So it will show 10% off, 20% off, so on and so forth. By the way, on the right-hand side, it won't always show it in the preview section. Don't worry, in the ads, when they see the ads, it will show. In the shapes, we have 4 separate sections. You have to look at your brand and what really suits your brand. If it's more round shapes that you're using, call to action buttons, I want you to use the pill version, which looks a little bit better. As you guys can see, they started showing this. 60% off is a round pill form. Really look good in my opinion. Covers a little bit more real estate. You can choose that for that reason. Triangle is the worst one. I never use this one, but I usually go with the pill form, which looks a little bit more elegant. You can select the font here, so PT serif, let's say we go with this, and then I want to edit the color. Why? If your background brand is something else and it looks ugly with this automatic color, you don't want that to happen, right? You want to select the color that will go well with your brand. So I will edit. Usually red looks really appealing or it gets good results. I A/B tested this red against, I think, black, and red outperformed black. So totally up to you. That's my 2 cents. I usually go with red when I choose this. And you can change the text color as well, or the shape color. For instance, I can do black text on red. Totally up to you. You have to play around with this. So I usually go with this 100% of the time, right? I save this. And also, if you have a special offer, for instance, Black Friday, you have a free shipping, or end of financial year sales, you can also click on this and add a frame. Adding a frame will drastically improve the visual appeal of your ad. So you're gonna come here, you're gonna say custom, and you will upload an image that will frame out the total look of the image. So I will come here, let me take a look if I have a frame that I've created previously. If I have, that will look really nice. All right, I have one frame here that I created on Canva, which is super basic, guys. Just you're gonna crop inside, just the outside has to tell it can have words, so on and so forth. As you guys can see, it says new drop. This like this outside frame is the whole gist. But when I do that, as you guys can see, this 60% off doesn't look good, so I have to change the color of that to a, probably black to a white text, or you can change the opacity here, drop it down a little bit, or maybe increase this so it is a little bit more visual. So you can increase this or decrease the size of it. Doesn't really make sense if you when you decrease the size of it, in my opinion. All right, it is not loading. I'm just gonna skip this part and save it. Cool. Now it is going to look way more appealing on the right hand side. It is not always going to show, so don't freak out if it doesn't show the frames that we just did. So it is usually the case. We can also add primary text with custom information that really works well for me as well. For instance, I usually put in, for instance, the name of the product is now, and I put the current price, which is the discounted version. So it actually tells them it was X, now Y. So there's a discount for it. So guys, these will be dynamic. So if you're using, for instance, if this is showing a different product, it will say X product, whatever it's showing on the ad, on the carousel, is X. So that will be dynamic, which is really, really good. So I actually don't want to use it in the primary text. I want to use a tick, green tick in the ad copy, and I want to use that here. Product name in the headline, sorry. Product name is now only, and I will add, and current price. Cool. That will work way, way better. You can add a description. And that's it, guys. These are the settings that you can optimize towards. You will know, and you can also automatically highlight the promo codes, which I don't suggest if you're using a catalog ad. The reason being is we are already doing this in the catalog, right? So I will come to the Advantage Plus creative section, because enabling some of them will mess your creatives up since we're using a catalog ad, right? All right, so if you have a client, guys, they usually freak out because it looks, they create those weird stuff. Like, so for instance, this animation, right? This dynamic format will be created by Meta itself, so you cannot control this. But this improves the performance when it comes to catalog ads. When it comes to catalog ads, guys, I want to give as much control as possible to Meta's and AI, because they're using the AI to pick and choose my products, and I want to give this power to the AI to find the best possible products for my business. So you can use expand image. That works really well because there's no text. If there's text, I usually do not do this. Music, yes. And adapt to placement, you want to do yes. Come here, generate backgrounds. I really do not suggest this, guys. And dynamic descriptions, you can put this on. Dynamic media, yes. I want AI to find the best possible creative for that person who's likely to buy. Yeah, it makes sense. Info labels, and I will keep this yes as well. You can add the info labels in addition. That really works extremely well as well. So these are the ones that I specifically do for catalog ads. But if it was a single image or a carousel ad or a video ad, I might not consider doing that because it messes things up. But a catalog ads, it's a completely different story. So keep that in mind. I'm gonna cover how I approach the creatives, how I look at them, how I segment them. Is it just single image, static carousel video, or a collection? No, that's not the case, of course. I look at it differently. I put those into brackets. So the first bracket is going to be unaware. So this is the part, this is the bracket of creatives that you're not going to use that much. The reason being is most of you are not going to create new markets. This is so expensive, guys. If you are trying to get a person aware of something, this is like not for you and me. If you're creating a brand new thing like Uber, right, that was not around, right? They created a completely new segment or new market from scratch, and they needed huge tons of investments. And you and me, like average Joes, we cannot do that. Or if you're working with a brand that has like millions of dollars of advertising budget, of course, you can do that, guys. And for yourself, though, it's quite unlikely, and you won't see immediate results, and you are most likely going to be not profitable. Keep that in mind. In the unaware stage, if you're explaining what a certain thing does from scratch, you're not going to be able to see good results. This is the section where, people talk about a brand, creates the brand from scratch and the product from scratch, if there's no industry behind that, right? If it doesn't make sense, think about Uber. Again, that's one example. Before it came out, they have to come up with this brand, the product, the industry, what it does. It completely disrupted everything, but they had to create that, right? We didn't know that existed. We were unaware. And the second one is problem aware. So this section, by the way, the unaware section is going to be a majority of the people in like the planet Earth that are using Facebook, right? So we're not going to tap into this big market. It is unlikely. Let's be real. And the problem aware is the market that is going to be super, super utilized. And this market, for instance, is not being captured properly by Google Ads. Google search ads, YouTube ads can capture this pretty well, but Facebook is extremely, extremely unique with capturing this problem aware stage. So they know they have a problem to solve, but they're aware of any specific solution. So what we do, we like these type of creatives actually does a great job explaining how your product is the solution for the problem they've been experiencing for years, for instance. So that's why I love this, and most of the creatives are going to fall into this stage. And again, you're not going to be extremely profitable with the creatives that is falling into this. So I look at the creatives in that way, right? Is this creative going after people who know the problem but not aware of the solution? Another one is solution aware. So this type of creatives, they know what you have. We're going to explain it with examples with the creative sheet so that will make sense clearly, right? So they know there is a problem. They're aware of the problem and they know there's a solution to it as well. Let's say a weight loss example, but they don't know if you have the solution, right? They know there's a solution. Let's say you have a liposuction business and they know liposuction is a solution, but they don't know if you have the product. Now, if you put the product in, let's say you put the product, let's say your specific laser blah blah treatment center, right, in the CBD city center, and they know your product exists, but they aren't completely aware of what it does, right? So we have to educate them a little bit more, and the product aware stage is going to be, if you have a limited budget, let's say you're spending $50 a day, right? Up to a $10,000 budget, you're gonna spending most of your budget in product aware and solution aware. You're not going to be able to tap into this market. To go to this market, you have to have a way bigger budget, guys. And the last one is most aware. This is the part where we do the retargeting. Retargeting creatives usually fall into this bracket, most aware, and like this is the lowest hanging fruits, right? The lowest hanging fruits possible. So you're gonna make the most money in this section of the creative. So with this knowledge armed and you know what each stages of creatives are, and let's go and see some creatives and analyze which stages they fall into. All right, with the information we are armed with, let's go and look at some creatives and which type of format they fall into. Let's take a look, starting with statics, and we're going to go into videos as well later on, but it is going to take some time. Buckle up. I'm not going to divide this section. This is going to be long, but I want you to focus on this section, because if you lose your focus, you're not going to have a good understanding of what I'm trying to say. All right, the first one, we have products are packaged and piled up, amateur style photo, right? This is clear that it is not set by a really professional photographer. What is this? So for you to know this products, what they have to sell, we have to be extremely product aware. So this definitely is a most aware and not maybe product aware campaign, but I would suggest this falls into a most aware type of creative. Have secondly, horizontal us versus them. Us versus them creatives are all over the place. They still do work, because like the first thing people have in their mind, why I should buy this from you and not from my competitor. If they think that, they definitely have a problem, they definitely know a solution, and they know your product offers that solution, but they're not sure if they should buy from you, right? They're not most aware. They're not about to buy. So they're thinking, why should I buy from you? They're gonna ask that question. And inherently, how this creative style came about is actually answering that. Why should I buy from you? This is cheap, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. We have here the straight straight up creative offer. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger so you see a little bit better. All right, we have the straight offer page here, which straight up puts your offer. This, like, get 20 plus new clients every month, or we pay you $55,000. This type of creative actually falls into a little bit of problem aware. So they even maybe unaware. So this service is not that popular. I don't know a service like this. They get you more clients. It's not a well-established niche. They go into infomercial type of space, but I will put that into a problem-aware type of creative. So they are explaining their offer, so they are aware of the problem. They need clients, but they probably don't know there's a service like this. So they have to do a lot more work to explain that is a viable offer, service for them. Tweet style creative, this works really, really well. I've tested this with marketing agencies. I tested with the normal products, e-commerce products. That works really, really well, and I suggest you do that as well. This is from Russell Brunson, a great marketer, owner of ClickFunnels. And let's see, the 3 steps formula: log off socials, dive into no BS newsletter, watch your marketing game transfer, ready, click below. So the first thing, this is really organic. So the first thing that people don't realize is it looks like an organic post. That's why they don't realize it's an ad. So they don't skip it, and that the reading thing gets you hooked to that ad right away. So this type of ad, usually the style of an ad is a different. Like, you can play around with styles all day long. But what does this do? So this actually doesn't solve any problem. It doesn't really fall into anything, to be honest. It may be product aware, so this is a little bit in the middle, but this style of creative as a style works really, really well. You can put your offer in. You can, use this style into every stages of awareness, to be honest. This one is great, guys. This one is amazing, like one of my favorite ads. Results on a plain white arouses curiosity. Like, how did you do that? How did you increase this conversion rate? So low conversion rates is a problem, and I know solutions, and I don't know you have a solution right now. You have something, but I don't know your solution, what that is, right? Maybe it's probably an agency, I'm not sure. So they're using arousing curiosity in the problem aware stage. So I'm not solution aware at this stage. They might make me product aware, most aware in the landing page, but now we are covering ads itself. We have us versus them, again, a different style. They're using the callouts, which works really, really well. And this is, again, falls into the product aware stage. So I'm about to buy, comparing. I know you have the product, but what is different? We have this is value pack 1-by-1 breakdown. They do this great. They do this pretty well in infomercials. What do I mean by this? Like, they say you get this course on top of this course on top of this course, and all of that makes thousands of dollars, but you're getting this for $100. But now they're making it for free. They're value packing everything. So I would say this really goes into most aware. So you are aware of the product, you are aware of what problem it solves. I know the solution, your service or product, no BS marketing newsletter, and now you're actually showing you what a great value I'm getting. This is a most aware type of ad, and you can easily copy these styles, guys. I'm going to link this underneath this, so definitely give me a thumbs up in this comment section of this course. That will help me a lot again. So this is a floating product. If you have an e-commerce business, this is not a solution, problem solution type of an ad. So it doesn't fall into anything more. You can put it into a product aware, so you have to know the product. It's a Nike, everybody knows Nike. So you can use this floating style. There's like a little shadow here. That works really well overall, and it doesn't become the top best performing creative, but it's a good addition to have in your creative cycle. This style works really, really well. Features pointing out, they're using a really thin lines here. You can make it a little bit bolder, depends on your creative messaging. This works really well, and they know the solution, they know the product, so this is more of a product aware, and they're breaking it down what the product has to offer. And this is a little bit of an older style. Let's cover this one. So price focus product single image. So this is actually just giving you the price, and they don't present a solution, they don't present a problem, but this is more of a product aware type of ad. So it is aware of the products, this direct new no BS newsletter marketing course or an ebook, whatever the case may be, and price focus. This works really well. And we have a big idea with proof. So this works as great as a YouTube thumbnail as well, but this is more of a, they call something XYZ effect, and that effect making you make more money in your Shopify. What is that effect? I am now aroused. I now have curiosity. I want to know what the hell that is. So that's why this called, guys, goes into an unaware stage. So I'm unaware if I have a problem. Maybe it can be a little bit in the problem aware stage of a creative. So maybe if you are struggling with your Shopify sales and you see this ad, you'll be like, what the hell is this ad about, right? Like, what is just this Jaka effect, so-called Jaka effect, and making you increase your revenue from here to there. So this is called big idea. Even if it's a simple thing, you change the name, put a name behind it. It's a good copywriting technique by Dan Kennedy. And also other advertisers use this big idea technique. It works really, really well. We have before and after. This works great as well, but I don't like this stock image. This works really stocky. So even if you take this guy out, this will work a little bit better. Guarantee this. And maybe a little bit better of ticks on crosses. That would work better. Before and after. So there's a clear solution. You know you are solution aware, but you're not product aware. You're solution aware in this case. This is that type of creative. So this is great, new way and versus old way. So the old way, there's a lot of bacteria in it. The new way is supposedly more clean. So this is also a product aware stage, maybe a little bit of a solution aware, you can say, or maybe a problem aware even. So this covers all of these stages, to be honest: problem aware, solution aware, product aware, depending on when you see the product, to be honest. Feature, razor. So they're underlining a separate USP of this product. Hygiene, right? So you can underline several different USPs with your creatives. I usually do that. So when I do I will cover to A/B testing or testing phases when it comes to the testing creatives. You have to test a lot of stuff, right? You have to test a lot of elements. Only testing is not just testing the background. It's not just testing the creatives, like the carousel single image. It's testing everything. So you have to test the unique selling propositions, because the client might come to you guys and say, you know what, people love me because I have cotton t-shirts, but you test it and it's not the biggest unique selling proposition of the brand. Maybe it is because it is made out of bamboo or something, or maybe they give $10 from every purchase to a charity. Maybe that is the unique selling proposition. So you have to test those USPs as well, bigger elements, to see which one sticks. So that's what they're doing actually. Usually it should be the convenience factor, but they're testing. They're testing the hygiene factor if it sticks, right? So we have, as seen on Forbes, this style. So this gives a little bit more credibility, social proof. This goes to most aware. So why it goes to most aware? They could have just used this, lifestyle image, but here they're using this as seen as Forbes. I see product aware if I've seen this ad, or most aware. Oh, okay, this is becoming a big thing, becoming popular. We have Instagram story bubble. What do I mean by the bubble? This text style is Instagram text style. And before after, so this works really, really well again, guys. So they're doing it like they're making it look organic, right? There's not a super classy different fonts they're using, not something flashy. They're using the Instagram fonts, and that works really, really well. And it's a simple ad. You can see the image quality is not great, which also makes the ad a little bit better. So you don't see your friends on Instagram using super fancy lighting, good camera. You don't see that, right? You always see your friends using bad lighting, sometimes good lighting, depending on if they're an Instagram freak. So sometimes most likely they use the bad lighting. So then that is the case. If you put ads like this using bad lighting and making it look organic, people drawn to it, right? People don't think that is an ad and they just stick to it, right? So there's a thing called banner blindness. So when you see an ad that is super polished, you just skip it, right? So, all right, this ad is, I think, that goes into a little bit more of a problem aware. Maybe they're aware that the T-shirt doesn't look good. I know the problem. I think I know the solution, which is losing weight, but they're providing a different solution. And this ad, I'm 100% sure, True Classics, they created a whole different niche with a well-known product. The product is literally T-shirts, guys. Like a T-shirt you can buy from Target or a Big W, like those cheap, not quality T-shirts, but they are selling those with a really unique hook, unique selling proposition, and they inserted that unique selling proposition. Like people didn't have that, specific market that the stomach area has to be baggy, but the arms has to be tight. Make you look a little bit more buff for guys who has a dead butt. That is the market they're going after, and people didn't know that of a problem. They're not solution aware. They're not. The only solution they think they know is losing weight, but they are problem aware. They know they have a big belly. They know the regular T-shirts don't fit well. So that's why I suggested going after creating problem aware ads are going to cost you a lot of money. And True Classics definitely did this really, really well. It's one of the brands that grew with advertising. So they scale the hell out of it with advertising, and it is a simple idea and simple brand. So kudos to them. They're a really good brand to analyze their ads. So if you're in e-commerce and you want to look at and take inspiration from ads, one brand is True Classics. Just look at their ads, study their ads, and what type of creatives they're using, and because they're on top of the trends, guys. So you can copy word by word what they're doing. We have a lifestyle image, most likely and most aware and product aware. It's basically like a jacket. Super simple. We have the authority type of ad. This goes really well with most aware because they know the products, maybe whatever you're selling. Maybe this guy is selling an info product, but they don't trust you, which is normal, right? And you show you're speaking in an environment where people are listening to you, you build authority. So they become more and more and most aware. Memes, I don't really like meme ads. I tested back in 2020, guys. They worked quite well at a certain point when memes were like a big thing. In 2018 it was working all right, but it wasn't still the top performing ads in any of the ad accounts I looked at, or like marketer friends that I have. They never told me this meme ad performed the best. It was an ad type that people inserted to gain it, because the idea is there. Idea is to look native to the platform, but that didn't stick for some reason, guys. I don't have an explanation to this. Maybe you guys have. Just drop it down below. And meme ads tend to not work really well. We have one ad, a remarketing ad, and this is a great ad for most aware. So I know the problem, I know the solution, I know the product, I know everything. I'm most aware now at this stage. So this is a sign. This guy, King Kong Sabrisubi, his ads are great, but he now bumped his production quality a little bit up, so you might not be able to mimic everything he's doing by yourself, because he's shooting really high quality ads. But compare that with the True Classics, you can shoot the True Classic ads. But Sabrisubi's, you can copy his static ads. He's doing a great job as well. Let's go down. We have testimonial screenshot. This is most aware as well, and you can see they screenshot it because it is easy to hire someone on Fiverr. One person, right? It is easy to do that and to give you a fake testimonial, or you can copy someone's image. But to do like 20, 15 people, it is not going to be that easy. That's what they're doing, which is good. Compilation. Now testimonials are not working anymore, but a mesh-up testimonial, like 5 testimonials back to back, 5 second, 5 second, 5 second, bam. So it makes it look a little bit better. Problem solution text on my plain background. This type of creative works good if you have a really good offer, and still relying on expensive influencers agencies to provide UGC video. But I bet this didn't perform really well because the headline is too long, guys. Nobody's going to read this, and this part is AUD. You don't see the dollar sign. It's just a messy look, and I don't suggest this is going to perform well. And if we have to think about what stage it goes into problem aware. So they know they're paying too much to the influencers, so on and so forth. Let's go down. Notes ads, they work well. I tested a couple of ads, but they're short-lived always. They did not become the top performer for a long time. So they get a couple of sales, they become profitable for a week, they get some spends, and then they die off. So these what I've experienced overall with notes, but it's a good addition to add in. So I don't know what to put that in, to be honest. Like, it's a creative style again, not a stage. I wouldn't put that in any of the stages. It's a style, and you can use anything in a text into this and then put it into any stage when you're thinking about it. When we go down, we have this style. Too much text, if you ask me, but sometimes some ads with too many text, too much text on it, performs really, really well. So I never, because back in the days, there was like a 80-20 rule. If there's more than 80% of the text, your ads was getting rejected or something, and they didn't suggest that. Now I see some ads with a lot of text on it, and they're performing really, really well. And it is not hard to read here. So there's like little emojis. So they're actually offering you this, creating the problem and giving the solution. So it is actually now a product aware. So I know the product now. I know the solution as well. So it could be either product or solution aware. I want to make it a little bit faster, guys. I'm not going to come back to this. We're just going to look over these creatives, and I will tell you what I think about those creatives if they are going to be top performing. Now, most of these have been running for a while, which is the only success metric that we have when we analyze the ads in the ads library. If they've been running more than 6 months, that ad has to be profitable, or one person likes to throw money in the bin, right? So let's go down. We have screenshot analysis with headlines. So this is a good ad. Why? So using this text from WhatsApp, if you could get a screenshot from Messenger, Instagram DMs, you're going to get rejected right away. That ad is going to get rejected because they don't want that text styles or comment section to be posted as an ad. But WhatsApp, that's fine. WhatsApp doesn't get banned for some reason. They're breaking it down. So when I see a conversation, I'm immediately drawn to it. I'm going to look at it. And analysis, even though the text looks small, if I'm into like getting into dating style, there's an expert dating text to show how to send, I'm going to be intrigued, right? If I'm aware of the problem, if I'm not getting any girls, I'm definitely going to be interested in this product. So this is an interesting one, interesting ad, curiosity arousing ad, headline, long text, and a newspaper, and a huge CTA. That is good that they included a huge CTA because they have a big headline, the charismatic guy, long sub headline or a body text. If nobody's going to read this, they will see this. So if I'm interested in the headline and the CTA, I'm going to click. Let's go down, and I like this type of ads, guys. If they know if you're selling a product and you have a great value in terms of price, they are definitely going to click on your ad. Display of an informational product, info product. So it is hard to create an image of an info product, right? Like a marketing agency, a course, a cheat sheet, and stuff like that. So you have to demonstrate the value somehow. And in this case, they're demonstrating value by stacking the visuals it's like if it was a CD or a cassette, right? You want to make it look tangible. And I see great results with this. I would put a price maybe if it's not expensive. If it's expensive, I wouldn't put it. Maybe a headline, maybe one USP here would look a little bit better, right? An extra bonus, this is great as well. And this style, stacked look, like everything is on top of everything, but you can see what it is, right? Or 12 ad copy frameworks. So I'm gonna be interested in this thing. Like, I'm into copywriting, and I will be definitely interested. This ad has been running for 2 years, guys. 2 years nonstop. So simple, short carousel, and nothing seasonal in the primary text. That is important. So if you change something, guys, you probably know this by now, but I will still go over it. If you change anything in an existing ad, they will create a new ad ID. So you want to create an ad where the primary text and the headlines are going to be evergreen, meaning the evergreen means actually you're going to intend to run this forever. You don't want to change anything in that ad. The reason being is because when you run it, the longer, the more social proof you're going to have. So if you want to change, you know what, actually this is summer, let's type in summer offer 20% off in the same ad, the whole social proof, likes, comments, shares underneath that are going to be gone. And those stuff are gonna drop down your cost per thousand impressions, CPMs. So you want to have as much comments, as many comments as possible, as many shares, likes, blah 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 as possible. That is gonna decrease your cost per thousand impressions. So you're gonna beat your competitors in the auctions. And there's a reason why they've been doing really well in evergreen ad. They don't have to touch anything. It's been performing for a while. And again, we have, I think this is True Classics again, t-shirts back to back on a plain background. There's different ways to show different colors. If you're selling a bundled pack, this works really well. And as you guys can see, there's a testimonial headline, the best t-shirts money can buy. So they're stacking everything, a testimonial and a little benefit here as well. And it is easy, and there's an offer as well. So I doubt that is the top performer, but that is a good addition to include. We have one more t-shirts in a hanger that works really well. It creates that more natural look instead of a lifestyle or in a plain background. This, from a hanger works really, really well. And I see these work really, really well with more old money style clothing. We have Huel. I ran ads for a competitor brand of Huel, but they were struggling a lot. The reason being is this market is really, really a hard market. We were achieving 2-3 ROAS consistently, but the person was not a big brand. They didn't get an investment, but Huel had a huge investment from the get-go because the business owner was struggling to compete. They needed like 4x, 5x ROAS, and the ads we tested was super similar to Huel's ads, right? And this type of ad was our top performer, to be honest. And they wanted to know, because the customers wanted to know what type of benefits they're getting. If it's a supplement, I would only care about the benefits, because what else would you care about, right? You cannot have a taste something, right? Maybe I would put a person giving a taste, and then, oh my god, the best chocolate flavor I've ever tested, so on and so forth. All nutrients you need in one meal, gives that convenience factor as well. This would, if you have a supplement brand, this type of style, the call outs with arrows, works really well. This is one of my favorite ads, guys, but this type of ad has to go to an advertorial page. If this ad goes to a product page where you're doing a hard sell, it is not going to work. And this ad goes to an advertorial page. Advertorial page, when you go to the page, it looks like a blog post. They are not trying hard to sell you something, right? And then you go down, you see the product, and they talk about, how this man did this reveals beating the algorithm with the TikTok videos getting 2-3 million views. And then you go down, oh, okay, actually, he learned this from XYZ course, and now you go down, you see the benefits of the course. So there's a good transition from the blog style post to the product page. It has to be like that. And this style works really, really well. It looks like an advertorial, it creates curiosity. I bet the click-through rate is about 3%, easily about 3%. And I bet the CPMs are super, super low. This is a great ad, guys, like a really good ad. So we have one more, this from the same brand. Curiosity headline, how XYZ achieved X. So this is a really old style headline. You can use this, say, like in the copywriting world, this is one of the classic headlines you can use, and old style news, direct response newspapers really gain a lot of attention with those headline styles. How 69-year-old man shares the secrets to achieving XYZ. Still, the same style, a man who is in your avatar, or even a 60-year-old man can do it. I am a 30-year-old man. I should be able to do it, right? Like I want to think that. So if it's like imagine this, if it's a TikTok genius, made millions by going viral on TikTok, I would immediately think, like, of course, he's a TikTok genius. But if it's a 60-year-old man shares how he did it, I'll be like, fuck, if this guy's doing it, I can do it, right? Like, I'm going to go click on the page to see what the hell is that about. So that is the whole ideology. You want to make it like a no-brainer. Let's go down. We have the note style again. This works really, really well, as I said, guys, but this is more of a sprinkle into your ads selection that you have in the ad set. This is going to be performing really well in a week, and then it will die off usually. But if you put the benefits here, that might perform really well. I haven't seen people doing this. is this one actually using this benefits here. That works quite well, but give it a shot. We have guarantee headline and a simple offer. Has been running over a year. So 5 days certification guarantee. This is good. Study criminal psychology. Bam. Straight offer and a great imagery. Like, not amazing. You can do it on Canva in literally 10 seconds. But the core elements is there. The guarantee is there. Good offer is here. Like, what they're going to get at the end is there. But the people who are, enrolling in this are not going to be people who are, problem aware, unaware, solution aware. They're going to be the people who are most aware of product aware. They've been thinking into getting into criminal psychology, because this ad is not educating them by any means. They're just giving the straight up offer, simple, clean ad, right? So you're not going to get a community of people interested in criminal psychology with this ad. So keep that in mind. That's how I look at the ad styles, right? So we have straight offer, running over 6 months, witty, the headline on the background, right? Like, I usually do not like making little jokes, wittiness on ads. It doesn't usually work that well, but this ad has been running over 6 months, so there should be something to it. So give it a shot. You can copy, test, let me know how it goes. PPC has never tasted so good. Like, doesn't give me an offer, doesn't give me a benefit. Like, I would not really click on this ad, but some people apparently did. So otherwise, they wouldn't be running this ad for 6 months, right? We have one ad, theme photo, social proof, and running for 6 months. And this landscape style, guys, it's not really popular. I bet they're really old people running this for a while. I don't think a advertising agency is running this, but they're again, like, if there's an ad that is looking not following the best practices, but that ad has been running for a long time, they are probably covering the essentials, right? What is an essential? A social proof is an essential thing. So 4.8 out of 5 on real estate. They're shoving the Google reviews, building the trust and authority with the team. So they're covering everything, right? So, and I don't see the offer. They probably, if you've been thinking of selling or leasing out your home, contact us today. They do the offer in their copy, primary text. So that is covering every single thing. I would usually use this on a retargeting. That will work a little bit better. I wouldn't really click on, because real estate is a visual thing, right? So you wouldn't really contact them right away because you like the look of something here. So keep that in mind as well. Let's go down. Desired results driven and tile style. So you can use carousels, but you can, the better way of doing this, because carousels are not great at getting the spend in an ad set. If you have multiple ads under one carousel, that carousel is not gonna get most of the spend, right? So if you use this strategy, you're gonna get best of the both worlds. The reason being is you're getting the most images, you're providing more than four visuals here, and you're doing it in a single image style where you get most of the spend, right? So that's why this, and running over 6 months, leased, results driven. That's what people want. I want my property to be leased, getting the money right away, right? So bam, 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 bam. Or you can put people's images, lost 30 kilos, lost 5 kilos, lost 30, if it's a weight loss, right? You can do that, guys. So there is more than 200. I want to go down and cover some more and give you a little bit of an idea. And this style, guys, I also like this style a lot more. The reason being is it is like the previous example, like an advertorial example I covered. This video reveals the real method Bill Gates used to get rich. So if you get this right away to a product page, get my course, $29.99, people are not going to buy it, and this ad will not work. For this ad style to work, you have to get people to a advertorial page where there's a blog post and then a slow transition to a purchase action, right? So then it will work really, really well. This, again, the same style of an ad. This native content, I like this type of an ad. This becomes the more advertorial style, right? So this becomes not as problem solving, solution aware, and I would usually use this as a solution aware here. So it's a native style, authority, social proof, they're getting an award, and it looks like an ad. It looks like an organic post, right? Top Melbourne agency celebrates birthday, giving away 3 months of free Google ads, and it is also given away, inserting that offer, strong offer. This is a strong offer in here, right? And you click get offer, bam. So this is a good ad right away. So this style has been becoming popular, but I never see nobody seeing great results with this style of ad. Just try it. Maybe I haven't seen good results with this Google images. It looks again organic. That's the reason why. Again, a testimonial, a celebration effects. I'm not a big fan of these celebration effects, but this testimonial style works great with the supplement industry because it's like how we're gonna do more. Like you can do call outs, person drinking the supplements, or testimonial for a great retargeting. We have breaking news photos with employees. This works great. I stole this ad and mimicked this for a client, and it started to generate good results. They're showing the results, showing the authority, and using the breaking news style. That works good as well. Let's go down. We have random product price comparison. This is a good one, guys. So they're comparing this skincare product to this getting destroyed by teenagers, this game. So showing how this is compared to a random thing. I used to do that a lot, right? If you're selling a course for, let's say, 99 bucks, right? 99 bucks. You divide that to, let's say, 10, it's like 9 bucks, right? And now you say it's cheaper than a McDonald's a day. So you make that comparison, make your price look smaller. And there's one more of this ad style. We can go down. We have a bunch more, guys. I'm going to link this down below, but you have to create a copy from the file section. Come there, create a copy to edit this, add stuff to this, right? Otherwise, you're not going to be able to edit anything. So let's go down. We have one more form style. Again, these ads work really, really well. Again, it has to go to an editorial page. I'm repeating myself, but it is the case. Let's go down. We have a random facts. I like this. 12 shirts sold every 60 seconds. Alex Hormozy doing this again. Average, business owner from school makes X amount of dollars. That works great. Gives a random fact, but that fact has to support what you're doing, meaning it has to do something. In this case, it is giving me social proof. A lot of people doing the same, doing this action, purchase action. Alex Hormozy is saying this is driving results, right? So this model, the fact has to provide something. Up to 3 months, free something. This, and also there's a review and the client. So this gives great. It's a great ad overall. Straight offer. They could even just put the offer down. There's a badge of an award. They also introduced a static testimonial, right? So I would definitely see this. If I'm interested in a digital marketing service, I'll be like, okay, let me see what this person is saying, and I will apply. That is a good ad. So we have now are coming to a special day like a Cyber Monday, something Black Friday. Those are going to be important. And if you are selling an info product, again, this stacked style works really well. So you have to make it look like stacked. You want to make it look like you're providing so much value because it's a product that is not tangible, right? That works great. And a huge offer. This style, we tested this style, making it look like, a person's mouth is shut or eyes is red. It doesn't really work. Insider, top secret style ad doesn't really work. I see this type of ad working a little bit better. And we have one ad screen divided into three. A lifestyle, and a call to action. This works great. Meme style, again, we're covering this meme style. I never see meme styles working really well today's day and age. And we have a Black Friday ad. So for Black Friday ad, especially this type of ad, guys, I have to be most aware. Otherwise, I don't know what the hell this is, right? I have zero clue about this product right now. So for this product to work on me, I have to know this product. I have to be most aware. But you can also do this with a top of funnel and Black Friday. Like people are not aware of that as well. But in this case, if you have a Black Friday offer, it is usually good to serve to your existing people who already seen the ads. Maybe they're most aware. Bam, get them to buy, and then you go after new audiences. There's a lot more ads. Let's take a look at some video ads, guys, and let's analyze those ads. Which ones are good, which ones are not good. Let's take a look at this bad boy.
Okay, guys, What is up with all those red bumps on your face after you get shaved? You have got to take care of it. Just get lumen. It only takes 90 seconds a day, and you can try all of this for free. The charcoal face wash is a powerful detox for your skin. Activated charcoal attracts dirt and bacteria that gets into your skin when you shave. The charcoal scrub uses a physical exfoliant made from cotton instead of harsh chemicals that can also cause extra irritation, and it has green tea extract that reduces.
So we are almost halfway through the ad, and this ad is 1 minute. This ad is great. Again, if you want to look at some video ads and mimic some ads, True Classics, Lumen. Look at those brands. They advertise, I think, Australia, United States. Just in ads library, select Australia and United States. You will see the results. Guys, you are watching this and it goes by so fast, right? But be conscious how many times the screen changed. A lot. So it is not a simple ad. So we're starting with the problem, and the problem is being told to us by the opposite sex, and it is really important that so people and men actually want to look good for the opposite sex, right?
What is up with all those red bumps on your face?
So one, two, three different shots. One more shot. Now the girl is talking. Now the product. Now we're seeing the product. Now the girl is talking again. Now we're back to using the product demonstration. Guys, what I see people fail with UGC, which we're going to cover in the next module, is people are getting on Fiverr, getting a person to talk on camera, right? That person is talking, yes, this product, yeah, it is great. I was struggling with my business. Found this guys, they're working amazing. This agency, now I'm making millions. Like, it is dry. There's not many much action shots in this style of video style. There's nothing going on. So for me to actively be engaged with this ad is I have to see different cuts, right? So we are seeing 5 different images, 5 different models. A woman is not just talking, and while she's talking, we're seeing the product demonstration. See, one more person putting the second person, third person. So we see 3 different demographics. One white guy, Caucasian white guy with black hair. One blonde guy, one black guy, one blonde guy again. So they're literally going after multiple different target audiences and showing them that is all for each different skin types without the woman saying that, right? So like 4 different testimonial videos, and one woman is talking about how this product is good, and we're seeing it with demonstrations. And it started with a problem. You see how this ad is so good, so clever. That ad is literally speaking to everything here. Unaware, they don't know if this is a problem. They don't know if they're aware, most aware. Like, it is speaking to everything, and it is an amazing ad. Let's go back. Still going on. Another black man, Asian man now. Black man, Caucasian, blonde. Another black man. Look at this Indian guy. We missed this guy, I think Indian. Look at this, guys. Like, this ad is a killer ad. So look at like pattern trap. So let's watch one more ad. Let's watch this ad, for instance. Okay, this I know this ad. This is more of a pattern interrupt ad, meaning it starts the ad with something weird that is totally irrelevant. Let's see.
So that's called a pattern interrupt. And generally speaking, that's how we like to start our video ads when it comes to running ads on Facebook.
So this guy is good as well. This is Hernan something. He had a bunch of courses, pretty good as well. Like I also still take courses to learn from other advertisers as well. And this guy's courses are good. And I've seen the static title being used again. Sorry, this pattern interrupt. I've seen some people holding a banana, peeling the banana, and then showing that, using that as a pattern interrupt, and then going with that. But it is kind of on the out, like it is fading away, fading out. There's a better way to do it, actually. I will show you that in the later modules. We have one more celebration with a social proof. Let's take a look at that bad boy. All right, this is the megaphone ad that I showed you. Like they had the static version of this, which we went over, and this is the video version. Let's see. Look at these results, they're great. So they could have just simply, so a poor advertiser, what they would do, right? A poor advertiser just will take this celebration and have this megaphone name top 3 Google Premier Partner. They will just put that in and call it a day. But a good advertiser, since this is a good ad, they're pushing this Shopify sales, screenshots, bam, 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 and there's this partnerships going scrolling down. It is going like this. They made this ad way better with this small nuances. So this is how a bad or an average ad could be made good. Let's take a look at one more example. No text ASMR style ad. Let's take a look at this, guys. This is, by the way, a TikTok ad that worked really, really well on Facebook. So there's no text, nothing, an ASMR style, and this is demonstrating instead of talking. They're just showing how the product works. You don't need text, you don't need sub-headlines always. If it is, of course, a product that you can, touch and feel or eat, whatever the case may be. See this. Super simple. Maybe at the end I would like to see a call to action that will be a little bit better. It will improve the results, maybe like 20% off if they have an offer. A call to action will never hurt, guys. Getting people to do something. Yeah, because people sometimes when it comes to the ads, they're not that smart when it comes to when you run an ad, but sometimes but people are great at sensing bullshit, but people are really stupid when it comes to following directions. So because I think it's evolutionary. So they can sense the bullshit. If you're faking something on the ad, or you're trying to sneakily get them to buy something, they're not gonna do it. But if you are not giving enough information for them to follow, instruction for them to follow, a person who maybe likes the thing and wants to buy, and they are literally going to comment, where can I buy this? Like, this is literally an ad. Click this goddamn thing and go to the website and buy it. But people sometimes are stupid to follow instructions. If there's no instructions, they're stupid. But they're smart in sensing if you're trying to bullshit them. So put a call to action. Call to action is never going to hurt you. It's only going to benefit you, and it's not going to hurt your CPMs, guys. We have a DIY UGC TikTok made me buy it type of hook. Let's take a look at this. So this is a good ad. The reason being is usually these type of ads are actually fading out again, because like the UGC content that we just covered. But this style is actually short and sweet, and they're demonstrating it. So TikTok maybe buy it hook is almost dead. I wouldn't use this hook anymore. Or Meta maybe buy it, Facebook maybe buy it. Don't use this hook anymore. Doesn't work. But this style of ad, different hooks and demonstrating how the app works is important. See, I now know how the app works. I didn't know I had a problem. So literally they got me from this position unaware to most aware in one ad. So I was unaware and I'm ready to buy this product. It's probably cheap as well. So I can literally buy this product right then and there. And we have this type of style ad, a person, a talking face, and we had a huge banner and the offer as well. So whatever your course USP is, or product USP, launch your online course in just 30 days. So that will stay there throughout the video. The good thing about this is, guys, I made a test. I will close this section with this example, and this is really good, really important. Don't skip this, guys. I made a test. We had one video, a talking face again, for an agency offer. And I A/B tested this. There was one, no text at the top, no offer whatsoever. The person is talking, and I A/B tested that with this text at the top. The text performed 3 times better than the one without the text at the top, without the headline, the offer at the top. The reason being is, in the ad, it's talking about this offer, but The first 3 seconds are the most important section, which is called the hook, right? People, if they don't stay till the end or when till the point that you explain the offer, they're gonna skip. But that person, if they see the text, the headline, they're gonna read this and they're gonna stay or click to the end, right? So you're saving those people who might skip your ad because your hook is boring. So you're literally saving the bad hook. Right? So I would 100% suggest you do this. If you don't believe me, test and see yourself. Of course, your offer has to be good, right? If you put like free shipping in really bold headlines, it won't do much. But if you have an info product and you have a good claim and you're a good offer, having this at the top in your videos will work really, really well. All right, guys, we're gonna go to the next module. If you're having fun and you're gonna see this link, you have to create a duplicate and duplicate this page, create a copy of this form, of this page, and you will be able to edit happily. All right, guys, see you in the next one. User-generated content is dead in 2025. Why am I saying this? And most of you are probably going crazy. And let me tell you why. The rise of user-generated content started in 2020, 2021, and it spiked till 2023, 2022, right? Towards the end of 2024, actually now, we now can see the death of user-generated content. The reason being is a person holding the camera and speaking about a random topic and claiming they are the person of a customer or a person giving testimonial. People now know it is so fake. Like, it is becoming a banner blindness nowadays. So the original definition of banner blindness is you see an ad which looks like an ad so many times that your brain automatically ignores that, right? If you see a super high quality, because you don't see that stuff on your social media feed. But now the iPhones and everything getting so much better, a person holding, no one is recording social media posts holding them like this, right? People are now recording more of these type of videos, like day in a life, get ready with me type of videos, right? So these are actually becoming more of a trendier user-generated content. In the next module, we're going to cover the trendy ad types that you can utilize, but I'm going to cover what type of user-generated content you should avoid. So this classic user-generated content, when you go to Fiverr, the ones that you can see right now are actually dead, guys. The person holding this product, talking blindly, is not going to sell. And I've tried and tested this with many, many, many times. You have to edit this with different, we looked at Lumen, for instance, in the previous section. If you skip this part, go back and watch this. Lumen, this example, I will put it on the screen here. For instance, amazing. So you can see UGC, like originally it is user-generated content, but there's so many cuts and so many more ingredients into that user-generated content. So when I say UGC is that, don't take it as a face value and don't think all of the ads that include user-generated content is that. But mainly the ones that don't include any efforts are not going to perform. Trust me on this one. I've tested this with at least 100 different ad accounts, and they are not performing unless they have to be like a super famous person, Justin Bieber or Kylie Jenner, holding the camera and talking. Maybe that will sell something, but otherwise you have to make it more engaging. I suggest if you are paying someone to record a user-generated content, at least every 1.5 seconds of that video, there has to be something. B-rolls, another photo shoots, another action in the screen. So that will keep people engaging. And usually the hooks are extremely boring with those type of user-generated content. So you might be asking, Jim, if they are dying, what type of ads should we do? Which I'm going to cover in the next section. But before we go into the next section, I will keep this really quick. If you're having fun, guys, don't forget to drop a comment or leave a review. That will help me tons, and I will see you in the next one. All right, guys, now we're covering trendy ads. These are going viral, and I'm seeing great results. But in a year's time, it's not going to be, right? Maybe it will not be. So it totally depends. Let's say some static ads are performing amazing. In a couple of months' time, it's not going to perform, right? So it is a trend. That's why it is trendy, and these are right now in 2025, in my opinion, the first, let's say, quarter of 2025, they are gonna perform like crazy. So keep in mind, guys, this is going to be short-lived, and depending on the performance of if the trend catches on or not, if the trend continues or dies really fast. So if the trend dies, I'm going to update these. So don't worry about if you have the wrong information or not, right? So these are right now are performing really well, and if I see something, I will come in and update this part. All right, let's start. The first one is my favorite one, podcast style ad. So we accidentally actually discovered this was working pretty well, right? We got one ad, one of my clients, we started running this. It was a podcast, right? A person speaking on the podcast like this. It is not, the person shouldn't be looking at the camera. This is the key part. If a person looks at the camera, it looks like an ad right away. It's like the banner blindness again. This is like a podcast, right? Like, what the hell is this guy talking about? You at least, so if a person is speaking to somewhere else, you immediately don't think this is an ad, right? You immediately ignore this as an ad because it's not, it doesn't look like an ad, right? So that's why this, I think that's the reason why this works so well. The hook rates of these are actually 30%, 35%. Hook rate is a metric where you calculate how long people stay for the first 3 seconds, and if they stay more, like 1 out of 10 people, it's like 10% hook rate, and so on and so forth, right? The view rate of first 3 seconds, the hook rate is basically, and the hook rate of these videos are crazy high. So people stick on, and the ROAS out for those ads and the cost per acquisition of those ads are going to be amazing. And Facebook will spend the majority of the budget on these ads. So keep this in mind. Let's look at one example. We have one example, a Fiverr guy is doing this. So let's see. So what is he doing? So this guy is, I have no idea who this guy is, but he's doing podcast UGC style video ads, right? So if you're running ads, just contact this guys. A little bit expensive, like $99 mark, but let's see.
Podcast style videos are trending across social media right
It
now.
is trending.
Top brands are embracing the style as a market.
So I wouldn't suggest this style. He has to look, because this is like promoting his business right now, not as an ad. So it's like an explainer video. But usually a person has to look aside, away from the camera, like this. So he's not looking at the camera. He's promoting the product like he's talking in a podcast and looking in a corner direction away from the camera. So this is really important, and this works really well.
I breathe through my nose and don't mouth breathe. It turns out mouth breathing.
And also this looks a little bit dry. I would put a little bit more text, captions, so on and so forth, because 90% of the people on Instagram and Facebook, they watch it with the subtitles. They want to watch it with the subtitles, and the sound is automatically muted. So keep that in mind. So this style is one of my favorite styles, but it is not as easy as, you know, asking for a person for UGC, because not a lot of people has this setup, right? So this, you need this microphone, because you cannot do with these microphones, right? It doesn't look like a podcast. You have to have this good lighting coming from an angle. You have to have these, you know, headphones, the microphone headphones like Joe Rogan has. Just try to mimic whatever they're doing, right? This is the key. This is the key part about creating podcast style ads, and they work amazing, guys. Give it a shot, and I see the trend right now blowing up. So you don't want to be missing out. You don't want to be late in this huge trend. So now we have the viral hooks. It is also called transitional hooks, meaning, let's see one example. Alex Hormozi is doing this a lot these days. If you know Alex Hormozi, you probably know what I mean, who I mean. And this one example, let's see.
I want to hear something insane.
So basically, he's getting one funny video and using it as a transition to his video. So a lot of people do this without the transition, meaning they don't follow this movement pattern here. But he's doing it, so it looks smoother, in my opinion, and it performs a little bit better, because otherwise you don't understand if you skip the video or something, right? It looks totally different. So let's go back. Let's look at one more example. We have one more example. Let's watch that transitional hook.
And this is called a transition.
As you guys can see, this is one more example. He's following the movement pattern of the transitional hook, the first video. And I will give you an amazing tool completely for free. You're gonna grab this URL and you will find this underneath this module. If you can find it, just drop a comment. I will send it to you. So You're going to go to this website, transitionalhooks.com, and you download it for free. Yes, completely for free. You can download anything and create millions of videos, guys. It is crazy. Like you cannot, of course, mimic every single one of them, but you can get insane ideas and test it. Maybe they don't work for you, right? It doesn't work for every niche, but even an educational and business niche, Alex Hermosi is doing this. He's like almost a billionaire now, and you can't be like, oh, my brand is different, my brand is that, my brand is elegant. Guys, like $1 billion businessman is doing those ads. I think there is something to it, right? It is working. I've tried and tested this even on organic posts on Instagram Reels and TikTok Reels. Even imagine you push some money behind this. It is going to work. It is going to work, guys. So watch this and grab some attention. Grab some inspiration from these guys. We have ASMR. ASMR is not super new, but it's still picking up, guys. I still see improvements. Of course, that works with products, not really much with services, but usually with product ads, you will see good results. And I don't want to say good results, great results, guys. So let's see this example. Basically demonstrating the product. By the way, this is a TikTok ad, but if a TikTok ad performs really, really well, it usually performs well on Facebook ads as well. But the only thing is with TikTok ads, we're going off a tangent. Like if an ad performs really, really well, the performance of that ad dies off pretty fast compared to Facebook ads. So keep that in mind. So this type of ASMR type of ads work really, really well. And let's cover sticky notes. Sticky notes are blowing up as well because they look super organic, super, super organic. And again, this is from one of my favorite advertising brands, True Classics. Let's watch this. So they start the video with this hook. You can also use every single part of your ad with these sticky notes. If you're a service-based business, put a bunch of sticky notes, explain, instead of writing text and using a static image, you can use this and you will get good results. So this was the sticky notes. And the last one and the most important one, this is going to be a little bit different. This is not something viral, but I see this driving a little bit better performance overall, which brings us to our last point, static ads. People back in the days, like 2 years ago even, had this conception thinking video ads are the best. You cannot scale with static ads. Static ads don't work. They had this idea, which is a misconception. But now what I see is static ads are starting to perform even better than video ads, even though some super high quality A/B tested production, high quality video ads, they're performing better than them. Static, made on Canva, like no skills whatsoever, looks ugly, but you simply put the offer down. And I also gave you that list, the ad sheet. There are a bunch of static ads. You can look at those and you have tons of ideas, at least 200 ads in that sheet. But now we're covering the video ads that are trendy video ads, and give a shot with those guys. You can test, you can create, guaranteeing you can come up with, let's say from the viral hooks, viral transitional hooks, you can come up with 200 ads, right? With different hooks and different bodies. And if you use the podcast style, sticky notes, and the ASMR style, you will end up with thousands of different ads. But of course, it will be up to you how many ads you want to test. If you have the budget, there is nothing holding you back. You can scale to the moon with this information armed with you guys. All right, see you in the next one. If you have a low attention span, just before we get to the video, just skip this one. Don't watch this video, please, because you're going to get distracted and you're not going to use any of the tactics that I'm about to show you right now. This video is for the ones who want to actually learn how to scale a Facebook ads from $1,000 per month to $100,000 per month. This is going to be an in-depth video, so fasten your seatbelts. If you want to, of course, subscribe, go ahead and do it. Before we get into it, who am I and why you should listen to me? I have been in digital marketing for almost 9 years now, almost 10 years. And I've been running ads for Big Candela, Fraser's Property, Coca-Cola, and New Balance, some of the Fortune 500 companies that I cannot name right now. My 6 years of my professional career is in agencies. All right. If you have the trust right now, we can just jump into the platform and I will show you step by step in 2024 how to scale an ad campaign like a pro. All right, let's jump in. We have $32 a day, which is really small. So what we want to do, we want to have two ad sets. I usually start with one broad targeting, one interest targeting. I usually don't start with a lookalike audience, even if I have a big list of people, because if you're running ads for a while, you will understand the performance of the lookalike audiences are kind of going down, which is unfortunate. But most of the ad accounts and people are telling me that as well. We've been observing this. Like the lookalike performance is going down, down, down. Like even though you're doing website lookalikes, purchase lookalikes, even you're uploading your listed values, that's still the case. So what we want to do at around that mark, $1,000 a month mark, we don't want to split test anything yet. So you don't have that budget to split test anything, guys. Don't should I split test the background color? No, that is a really hyper specific split test. So what I would do at this stage, two ad sets, one interest targeting, one broad targeting, and I will have some of the creative styles. And each ad set, I will not put more than four creative. In this case, we're gonna be spending 16 bucks an ad set, and 16 bucks an ad set is gonna be really small. So like you can start with three ad sets, doesn't really matter, but I wouldn't put less than a $10 under one ad set. That is my choice, and most of the advertisers I work with and talk to, they never go below 15 per ad set. Like some of the dumb ones put like $4 an ad set, which doesn't make any sense, and you don't see any results. I maybe in a certain case, if it's a retargeting campaign and you have no chance to scale that account, you're targeting, let's say, a small radius, maybe. Anyways, we're not split testing anything. We're just gonna have some broad idea of what type of creatives we're gonna run. I usually go with these four creatives. One user generated content, doesn't really matter the hook, the style, the whatever. I'll just put something out there. A podcast style creative. This is big, guys. If you're watching this right now in 2024, 2025, this is big. Like a lot of people, and I've been seeing amazing results with podcast style creatives. As a guy who tested like hundreds of user generated creatives, guys, it's crazy. And then us versus them, static. Go ahead with this, and two copy variation on each. So you know how I do not create another ad, just put the variation underneath that. And when I have $32 a day, I don't even think about retargeting, guys. This is a big one as well. Do not think about retargeting. The pixel, you don't have that data to retarget anyways. Let's say you have a huge account and they're giving you a test, then you might think of retargeting, like a performance test kind of. But then it's a rare case. Most of you like not in this situation. So I'll keep this until I'm profitable, right? If you're not profitable, there's no way you're going to increase the budget. Like you don't even think about. Say you're breaking even at 1.9, 2 ROAS, then I will start increasing the budget. And at this point, people go crazy. Oh, don't increase the budget like more than 10%, 15%. Like if you get into a learning, you change something, you will get out of the learning phase. Guys, with this budget, you're not out of the learning phase anyways. So you don't have to worry about learning. Learning occurs, by the way, they're changing how the learning phase happens. They rolled this in some ad accounts. Some ad accounts it's not rolled in yet. How they do it is you need to have a 50 conversion action. Let's say you're optimizing towards purchases. You can optimize towards traffic, link clicks, but I don't suggest that. If you optimize towards purchases, you need to have 50 purchases in approximately 1 week, 10 days ish. But you're not going to have that, right? If you're doing purchase, which I suggest you do purchase as a conversion optimization event, you're not going to have that. So you can double the budget here if you're profitable. If you have 3 ROAS, 9 ROAS, 10 ROAS, just double the budget, guys. You're not out of the learning phase, so you're not gonna get back into the learning phase again. Don't worry about it. Just double. So at this stage, you can just increase the budget however you like. There's no learning happening here, like no learning whatsoever. Say now you double the budget, you have $2,000 budget. What are you gonna do? That makes $64 a day. Now we have to pause the underperforming ads and ad sets. So now say we had 2 ad sets and there's the broad targeting is not performing. There's no written rule that it's gonna perform really, really well. I was watching Professor T yesterday. He was saying broad targeting, broad targeting, broad targeting. That comes with, if you are only working with e-commerce brands, you get this narrow idea that, oh, that works amazing, but not on lead generation, for instance. I'm not saying it doesn't work on lead generation, but on certain niches, certain ad accounts, broad targeting will simply not work. That is the case. On some ad accounts, that will beat every other interest. So it's case by case basis. It might not work sometimes. So you just have to kill it, right? If it's not profitable, pause it. Maybe try it again once you have a lot more data or a lot more budget. You have to test, guys. At this budget, again, I don't suggest you have more than 3 ad sets at a time. So it's going to be, say, 3 ad sets, $21 a day ish. So I don't really suggest 4 ad sets, 5 ad sets, never. So you're not going to get enough data in a short amount of time. And now we can introduce more ads, right? Why? I said first in the beginning, don't have more than 4 ads under 1 ad set. But in this case, we're pausing the ones that are not performing, right? So let's say you killed just 1 ad is performing great. You killed the rest. There's only 1 ad getting the purchases. You kill the rest of the ads. That's cool. And 2 of the ad sets are profitable. So you keep them. There's no hard feelings. You keep those. Now we're moving on. What type of ads now you can introduce? We have lifestyle, benefits, just big benefits headline. You can introduce GIFs, animations, some other UGC. UGC blend with testimonials. Testimonials, they work great on top of funnel as well. Don't worry about it. So if you're not profitable under these conditions, you have to test new ad sets and ads until you get there. So you got to be stuck in this universe until you find that winning creative format, winning creative, or maybe the winning product. It could be the product, right? Maybe you're promoting the wrong product of your whole collection, and you have to be finding something that is visually appealing. The one that you're selling great on Google Ads might not be the product that you're going to sell great on Facebook Ads. So if you're great, performing really, really well here as well, just double the budget again. You're not going to be out of the learning phase anyways. It will say learning, but it's going to be a significant edit once you add new ads anyway. So still, you're going to get out of the learning phase anyway. So people think the budget increase is the only thing that you get out of the learning phase. No, pausing ads, making changes to your targeting, introducing new ads, they all count as a significant change, significant edit. So they're gonna take you out of the learning phase anyways. Let's go down. So we are at, let's say, 5K. Now we're getting somewhere, right? $161 a day. Now we are at a point where learning can occur. So the learning can happen and occur in let's say, here as well. But you have to use, let's say, landing page views, right? So the key here is optimization events. So if you can get 50 optimization events in a week, in 10 days, you will get out of the learning phase, no problem. But is it what you want? No. 50 purchases in 1 week or 10 days. But that has to be happening under 1 ad set. So are you going to be able to have that here? Less likely, depending on the product you have. So if you are still none of the ad sets audiences, that's also one of the reasons why we don't want to scatter out, test too many ad sets at the same time. So that's why we don't want to do it. So in this case, let's imagine let's say 1 ad set is performing great, $161. You're getting more than 50 conversion events in 10 days, which is achievable. I've seen cases like that. Then you want to get to a point, set a rule, maybe you increase the ad set budget or the campaign budget. I usually say ad set budget by 15 to 10%, no more than that. So then you get out of the learning phase. That is the part where you have to worry about the learning again. And there's some advertisers, they think learning is a myth, doesn't matter, nothing happens, so on and so forth. Anyways, this is a discussion for another point. At this point, I set a rule again. Depends on the ad account. I sometimes manually go in and edit. So when you hit a certain ROAS goal in the ad set, set a rule to increase the budget by 10%. Wait 3 days or 4 days, increase it. So it's going to take time. You're not going to overnight get to like 100K budget right away. It's not going to happen. It might happen, but you're gonna see a huge dip. If you don't want to see that dip, this is the way to do it. We're gonna get to the 100K, guys. We're just at 5K. Just so stick with me. We're gonna get there. At this stage, totally up to you. I wouldn't. You can introduce a retargeting ad set. You can put it in the ad set or in a separate campaign. Totally up to you. There's no one written way to do it. 10 to 15% of the budget, no more than that. 10 to 15% of your budget, go ahead. Now you should overall have an understanding what style of creatives work really well for your brand, right? I work with brands. It's a simple t-shirt brand. UGC don't do shit. They don't do shit, right? But for some reason, like heavily edited movie scenes, hardcore style animations work amazingly well. So you have to find that creative style for your brand. Maybe just statics, they work great. You find that style. Maybe us versus them. Is it the creative style that is just working really, really well? Find that creative style, and you will have a good understanding. And here, ideally, majority of the budget should be on broad. As I said, on some cases, broad do not work. I told you the reason. So you keep it with a grain of salt. If it is working great, you should be pushing the budget on broad. But if it is for some reason you test it, still broad is like underperforming, don't touch broad. Test other stuff. You can test lookalikes, interest, demographics, all sorts of stuff. Let's go down. Now, by the way, we're at a stage. This is the stage where it takes the longest. 15% increase every 30 days. In some cases, you're going to hit a certain ROAS bracket. We're going to stay there for months, which is okay. There's also different strategies: horizontal scaling, vertical scaling, just upping the budget. But I see a big dip, or you can just duplicate the campaigns or ad sets like 5 times, 6 times. This is called horizontal scaling, which I will talk about in a different module. Let's go down. Let's say you slowly increase, and you get to a point where you're at 10K a month, which is a good budget, like pretty good budget. So you're spending $322 a day, which is, if it's coming out of your pocket, it's good money. So no creative testing yet. What were we doing though before this, right? We were introducing some creatives. Are those creative testing? Sort of, but I'm talking about proper A/B split testing. These ones, the previous ones, we were just rolling new creative styles into the ad sets, hoping it sticks. Let's see, try something big components. Like we were actually pushing different style. Like, let's try a carousel, let's try this, let's try that. We were just trying to find a winning creative style. After we found a winning creative style, now let's say if you already found a winning creative style and you come to this point really, really fast, now you can actually do it. But I still do not suggest that. Still, we're testing the creatives, meaning testing inside the ad set. We're not setting a separate creative testing campaign, which is going to be a different one, and I will explain it in depth. Still keep the retargeting budget at 10 to 15%, which will be ideal. Now we would have more data to push an Advantage Plus shopping campaign. Of course, if you're in e-commerce, yeah, that will work really well. In this case, I will put, of course, like three. There's a caveat here. Advantage Plus shopping campaigns work really well with abundance of creatives. That's why I don't have a rule. Even if you want to roll a $10 a day Advantage Plus campaign, you can put more than 5 creatives. That is only the case for Advantage Plus though. So we still have the rule going there in this case. Increase the budget 10 to 15%. If you still are not out of the learning phase, but you are extremely profitable, you can still double the budgets. Like, there, you can double the budget. Don't worry about the learning, because if you are not out of the learning phase, you think you're not gonna get that 50 conversion actions, just don't worry about it. Double the budget. It's not gonna hit your performance. Now we come to 20K. $644 a day. Now you should be out of the learning phase unless you're selling something really high ticket. So now we have gonna do a proper A/B testing, creative testing. Now we're gonna put $100 into a proper creative testing campaign, like a proper creative. What do I mean by proper? You're gonna have one campaign, 2 ad sets. Under each ad set, you're gonna target broad, no audience at all. I know even if you broad targeting doesn't work for you, the creative testing has to be broad targeting. And then under broad targeting, you're gonna do exact same targeting You're gonna have the exact same copy, exact same headline, exact same CTA, exact same landing page. You're gonna just change this, whatever the case may be. In this case, let's say a static and a headline. You change testing the headline. Now you can test specific things, big elements. Let's say if it's a video, you want to test hooks. If it's a static, you want to change headlines or unique selling propositions. You want to test those, maybe different offers, right? That could work as well. So do not do a test where you do a background color testing, like super minute, right? Like it wouldn't give you a great result. In this case, we're literally giving the exact same budget, exact same audience, and seeing which one at the end of, let's say, 2 weeks or 3 weeks is going to have better performance, like lower cost per acquisition, higher number of purchases, bigger ROAS, whatever the KPI you have is. Now, what I want to do is I want to switch to campaign budget optimizations. Till this point, I usually like to have the control, and I want to still control with some ad sets usually die off and kill them right away. But you can still pause it in campaign budget optimization, but I prefer to switch to campaign budget optimization right here. So we have the rule again, don't increase the budget more than 10 to 15%, but it's now in the campaign level since we switched to CBO. So now we switch to CBO. That is our main campaign we're focusing on. And what we're going to do now is going to be interesting. Well, so you might be thinking, Jim, what are we going to do with this scaling campaign? Sorry, the A/B testing, creative testing campaign. You're going to take the winners and you're going to roll those into the main scaling campaign. There's a thing, guys, but you have to be careful. Your winners out of those creative testing campaigns are not going to be top performers in your main campaigns. Sometimes they're going to be the worst performers. Don't freak out. This happened to me a couple of times. So this happens. Now we are at 50K. This is a serious budget. Like, to come here, guys, you have to spend a lot of time here. A lot of creative testing. As I said, test big elements, hooks, big like creative styles, maybe like a lifestyle image or just a photo shoot image or blah blah blah. Unique selling propositions, whatever you have unique for your product. Test those. Different testimonials. Now to come here from this to this, it's probably gonna take you 3 months, minimum 2 months, maximum 6 months. I've seen some brands taking a lot longer. Anyways, we're here. What we want to do is we want to double the budget on the creative testing campaign. That is going to be huge because we want to speed things up now. So we want to conduct 2 tests a week. So we're testing a lot of stuff now. We're testing hooks, let's say, and after you spend a lot of time here, you know some hooks are working really well. Now you want to test the body. Now you want to test the call to action. Now you want to test if you click the button now, you're going to get this free thing. That is going to be like the benefit hook-ish, benefit call to action-ish something. Now also you can have, in addition to your scaling campaign, multiple Advantage Plus campaigns. And in those multiple Advantage Plus campaigns, you can test certain product groups. And I will usually put a separate catalogs if it's a shopping campaign, of course, meaning you're an e-commerce brand. I would put multiple different catalogs, right? Promoting a different product ranges because you have a significant budget here right now at this stage. Not huge, not amazing, but a significant budget. Now you can push those different Advantage Plus shopping campaigns with different product lines, specifically focusing on those. Now you can like dissect that scaling a little bit. So you actually do not push only one winning product, try to find other winning products as well. As I said, if you like put the winner out of those creative tests, you roll those into Advantage Plus shopping or scaling, it's not gonna be performing really, really well all the time. Which is, you don't freak out if that happens, which usually happens. And also, what I'm gonna do, still you can introduce some lookalike audiences, but when scaling with e-commerce brands, I don't see great performance of lookalike audiences. And do not ever have a separate campaign full of lookalikes. Just doesn't make sense. And what I usually do with lookalikes, guys, if you push more than 500 a day in one lookalike ad set, it usually doesn't perform. Lookalikes usually perform on a low budget for some reason. I don't know why. Comment below if you've seen or experienced otherwise. Focus on testing more elements on creative. What is this? Now we can test CTAs. Now we can test the colors. We're getting to that point now. We can dissect it a little bit. Now you can test the carousels. Now you can test, like, if I put this in the first slide of the carousel, it works better, kind of things. Again, don't introduce this. Doesn't mean having this budget. It doesn't mean having you can introduce like 10 separate creatives at once under one ad set. This is the biggest mistake I see. And I'm guilty of this, guys. I still sometimes do it. Like if I get a good new batch of creatives, I like get so excited and then roll them into one ad set, and then suddenly the performance dies right away. Like that you shouldn't be done. Never introduce 10 new ads into one ad set, existing ad set. And if it's a scaling ad set, it's going to kill the performance right away. For some reason, the algorithm tries to spend in all of them, and then your existing performing creatives will it won't be able to spend to that, and then to having that core, possible buyers, they're going to start to scattergun approach that new creatives. So your top performer is not going to show to those ready to buy low hanging fruit audiences. It's just going to go into a mess. You might be asking, Jim, what about the warm audiences? What about targeting add to carts? What about targeting people who initiated checkout but didn't buy? Guys, we're in 2024. It's almost 2025. You are not in 2016 Facebook ads. It doesn't work. I mean, feel free to do it, but those are leaky buckets. I talked about this in one of the other videos I have about Facebook ads and retargeting. So what you should have do, the retargeting campaign is going to stack everything. Add to carts, initiated checkout, people who purchased. Because I also, if even if it's a super big brand like spending $500, 500K a month, I still do it. I usually what do I do? I do repeat purchases as well. I throw them in to the same retargeting campaign, so they still get those ads. They still get served those ads. I don't exclude the people who already bought, right? So I still get more purchases. It's not a big deal, depending on if the client says, I don't want to do repeat purchases. My only goal is, new customer acquisition. Then I start excluding. But it's not. I'm not a big fan of that exclusions. Like unless the client, because if the Shopify backend will give you the best results, and then you will see the best results if you stop excluding those audiences. But if, as I said, if the goal is new client acquisition, it's a different story. And we're going down. Now we are at almost the final stage. 70K to 100K. We are at 3,000 and a quarter. So we can now, at this stage, to increase the budget, duplicate if you want to aggressively scale it, you're really profitable, which is really rare. But I do use that strategy still to this day, which was really popular in 2019. People were like duplicating the top performing audiences like 10 times, 5 times. It was kind of a glitch. You still used to give, so you don't, if you increase the budget, it just kills the performance for some reason, and then you duplicate it. It was performing really good back then, but now if you have a small budget and use that technique, it doesn't work. Now what I do is, if I have this point and I have this top performing audiences, and I don't want to, and the scaling campaign, I don't touch this. I just duplicate the campaign, the scaling campaign, 3 times, 4 times, sometimes in a separate campaign, of course. So I will have 4 separate scaling campaigns, and I can adjust the budget on each of those. And one of those are going to be working most likely out of, like, if you duplicate it 5 times, 4 times, like 3 of them are not going to be top performing, but I need that one. So they're the same ones, but for some reason, one of them performs, the rest dies. I'm going to keep that one. So I basically double my budget there. If I'm at, of course, not all of my budget on one, but let's say I'm spending 20K on that campaign, it's now 40K extra. I just jumped the budget and didn't hurt the performance. And also, now we're bumping the creative tests 3 a week. So we're actively testing separate stuff every single week, 3 different separate stuff, actually. So that is what we're doing. And now we can test small. Now you get to the point where you want to test the backgrounds, the fonts, the music in the background, the headline. Now you can do this test wholeheartedly. Now this is how you get to this point, guys. Also, there's different ways to, of course, approach this topic. It's not like written. I shared my experiences. If you find this helpful, please do share, especially on LinkedIn. LinkedIn really helps me, guys, if you share this on LinkedIn, because people on LinkedIn, they like to learn stuff, right? And that's what I do. I teach stuff. All right. Hopefully, it was helpful, guys. See you in the next one. Bye bye.